Hey guys, Dan here and welcome back to another stream. And then now I think that everything's set. Yeah, the audio is okay, everything is good. I think I'm gonna tone down the music just a little bit. Or I'll just hide the music for me. And there we go. So hey guys, thank you for coming. I hope that you all have a great day. Just a special thank you to our patron, TitanMark01. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. And yeah, today we're gonna have just a little stream, just watching a Q&A that Blackimus did. If you guys know the Portuguese man himself, congrats, because this is what we're gonna do today. Blackimus released his third Q&A. It's a long video. I did not have time in my day to be able to just record everything, to edit, and then to release it. So this is my plan for today. I plan to go ahead to watch it. If I remember correctly, I think I've asked Blackimus if it was okay for me to do this. I'll react to it and then I'll post it. So this is gonna be, if everything goes well, a very fun stream to have. Just gonna give some time to people who join, and then we start. Let me see if everything is okay with the video, the video app or tab. Yep, everything is oakley dokley. Let me also re-add the desktop audio. Now it's open. Okay, I think everything is completely set now. Just give it another minute. All right, I think we can start. I will just do a final audio check on the stream. Audio check, check. The audio seems to be okay. Let me change to the video tab. And right now, I think we're ready to begin. So, let me just get a few things out of the way. And the 3, and the 2, and the 1, and the go.
Yeah. I'm up. Welcome, fellow internet peoples. Welcome to the extremely anticipated, critically acclaimed.
Okay, everything's okay. So now, truly, go. Just like it.
I'm up. Welcome, fellow internet peoples.
Hi, Blackimus.
Welcome to the extremely anticipated, critically acclaimed by the 1% feature-length third annual Q&A. Plus
face.
the super filled to the brim fan art showcase. Here, you also get the first mention of the 2 side projects. There are timestamps available in case you're already bored of me talking.
Never.
Let's get this video going.
What
role do non-mercenary characters like Miss Pauling, the Mad Brothers, or Saxon Hale have in TSU? They don't have a role in TSU. The most you'd get is a reference that could or could not be related to the TSU lore. How do you design the loadouts for background characters? Is there any thought put into them like the main character's loadouts? I just think of what job they have and work from there. If they're a civilian, I'll give them a fitting look. If they're a fragger, I'll give them a fitting look. Scrapper, same thing. The process is simple, really.
I think that one of the most advantageous thing that you can have when doing SFMs about TF2 is simply to the fact that there are just so many community created items as well as TF2 created items that are official nowadays. For example, I think that we have now what 15 years of cosmetics worth cosmetics. We have hundreds, if not over 1,000 different cosmetics, and that just helps us create. That helps Blackmas and other animators create. And what he says, it makes totally sense. But I can definitely imagine that for inspirations, he has so many series, games, and much more to be able to implement into the story. But now, let's go continue. Second question.
You plan to use Blender to up your projects for future episodes of SOL and TSU, or stick to only SFM? I use Blender to render my frames into a video format, and from what I've experienced with it, from my progress of very slowly learning how to port models to SFM, I wouldn't tackle animation at all. I know SFM is unstable, old, and crappy, but it's by far the easiest one to learn from my experience. Learning Blender to do animation would take me years to learn, and then porting every single thing I use from SFM to Blender, that's just an absolutely headache waiting to haunt me. Unfortunately, the actual series of FNAF Underworlds, my AU, is probably not going to be possible in SFM because of how ambitious it is. Modeling the world of Limbo, modeling all Limbo life forms, the maps, the characters, the monsters, it's too much for a crummy engine like SFM. But that's another problem really, because besides animation I can't really model nor draw, so I cannot come up with like concepts on the drawing board. It's a shame, but I'll take what I can get out of what my skills are, aka slice of life. To Fixer.
Yeah, I can imagine that, but I hope that one day Blackmas can actually just learn a little bit more. Because talking about my own experience, I know that being scared or just knowing that a few things can take a long time to learn, we shouldn't see it as just something to be truly scared. I know that SFM is very problematic, but still, so many animators like Blackmas chose to stick to it just because it's what they learned. But guys, don't be scared to learn new things. But when it comes to animation, I think I'll just have to give to Blackmas to sticking to what he knows. Because Jesus, imagine having to learn everything about a software just for it to be the most reliable one, and at the same time be one of the oldest ones and the least updated ones in the market. But it is what we have for TF2. So let's continue to the part 2 of the question.
What got you into wanting to make sentry guns? And if you could redesign some, given some of the sentries and tech
So now we're gonna
you've
get
seen
to
at your
the character
jobs,
responses.
what type of sentry you going for?
I've always loved working with machines. Alright, the most important thing of all is to be able to build a normal one first. Make sure all of its properties work fine, like the targeting systems, movement, hauling, anything that requires their input or output. After I figure that one out, we'll see what I'll try to come up from there.
To Plush Trap, considering
Before that, let me just check one quick thing with OBS. Oh, yeah, this is not completely right. This was a little bit different. Let me get this. I made this new tab just for this reaction today. So I hope you guys don't mind the adjustment. But let's continue.
your current design, have you ever considered what you or your family would look like as glam rock animatronics? What's a glam rock? Don't worry about it. He doesn't know them yet.
How many people will you be able to take into your group?
I'd say 4 is the magic number.
Is there
I see what you did there.
a possibility of a non-stand user to join your group?
Yes, there is a possibility. However, they would not be suited for combat. Combat against the distortion is too dangerous for non-stand users. There's a good reason why us anomalies have a better chance at surviving, but even so, we can get overwhelmed if we don't have an ace in the hole.
I know that Blackman is gonna maybe hate me for this, but I
even
just noticed
so,
like
we can get overwhelmed if we don't have anomalies have a better chance. Too dangerous for non-stand.
there's a little line over here that it keeps glitching. I'm sorry, Blackman, but every time that I see something like that, I just kind of have to point out.
There's a good reason why us anomalies have a better chance
nature,
at surviving, but even so, we can get overwhelmed if we don't have an ace in the hole.
Okay. Oh, damn it. I just, oh yeah, I noticed that I didn't start recording with OBS itself. I'm gonna have to download this later and I'm gonna have to just slice it in a lot of places. Damn it. But let's continue.
How you doing? Doing just fine. Obrigado. Why was the first half of the first episode
no speaking Portuguese, Blackmans. No speaking Portuguese.
of TSU so different in tone from the rest of the series? I already answered this question in the previous Q&A, but here's a short version. Retcon, because my initial idea for TSU was different, and halfway through I had the concept of TSU that you know today. To jumpsuit, are you willing to protect Fixer and Bunkbot from anything? Especially the distorted?
Nods. Oh, yeah, she's using the little note block. Nice.
Just want to say, TSU has inspired me to write again, and I just wanted to say thank you for providing an amazing series. Hey, you're very welcome, good sir. I'll always be happy that people appreciate my passion projects.
We do, Black.
The biggest question I have is what happened to the Acolyte from episode 1? Nothing happened with Acolyte. He will come back very soon. Is that something that is tied into the soldier? No, not really. His powers aren't related to Kia being born. Is everyone's stand tied into what class they are?
Hello, Regime. Welcome to the
Yes,
stream.
humanoid stands are tied to what class they are. It's what makes sense to me. Blackimus, are you a
Distorted variants, and you get a Tiny Desk engineer from Tiny Desk Corporation? No, I'm Blackimus, and yes, I asked TDC to make a Tiny Desk version of Teddy, the blue engineer that shows
So
up in
cool.
lots of TSU episodes.
Yes, Regime, this is a stream.
Even
It's just that this
in
video is
Slice of
just
Life.
so big that
Is there a possibility
I'm
that
artistic to this in a
Lolbit will
stream
appear in
format.
Slice of Life? Lolbit won't exist as a character, but as
It's so
something
cool, the
else
Tiny
that
Desk
I
engineer.
honestly think would fit really well. Hopefully, I'll be able to show it someday.
Is Blackman just
And
gonna
to
keep
Withered
adding
Foxy,
things to the background
how'd you
like that? It would
feel
be so
when
cool.
Vixen and Plushtrap started dating?
Confused. I was initially confused about it because of the dynamic, but then I saw how happy Vixen was. So now I'm happy for her.
Nice.
How much do you know about SCP and the SCP Foundation? I like to say I know a lot about SCPs because I really like the whole universe the community has made. I've
Me
played
too.
some SCP games, namely Containment Breach. I read a lot of
sorry.
articles about them, and even got some of it as inspiration for the VAC, including Foster's voice, being a reference to Nine-Tailed Fox. I'm a fan.
Ah, nice. I didn't know that.
Foundation? I hope not.
Do you wish to
work for the SCP Foundation? Hell no! I value my life.
That's
Why
a
did
good
you
one.
get into animation?
That's actually a very good point. If you can't, don't work for the foundation.
Because ever since I saw Gmod videos of Left 4 Dead, TF2,
Okay, just making sure.
and
everything's okay.
Half-Life, I fell in love with it. This happened during my youth, so as you can see, it grew and grew to the
Hey,
point
Pata,
where
welcome
we
to
stand
the
here
stream.
today. Where did you get your inspiration for your characters and or their stands? From everything I've enjoyed in my life. Games, shows,
Did you guys see this little eyeball into the bottle? I would not be drinking that wine.
movies, comics, mostly games, as that's what I know the most about. Apart from the obvious inspirations from animes like JoJo and Baki, TSU has a lot
I knew it! I fucking knew it! Blackimus during like I think it was episode 3 that the talk at the sawmill factory with where they were playing like the little pistols game mode. I told you that you were watching a lot of Baki and you confirmed it and now it comes back circle, but I can say that I said it first. I said it first. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy to this, and you're right, Pata. There's a, as I said, there's a eyeball into the wine, but I'm so happy.
of inspirations and philosophies from games like Soma, Dead Space, SCP, Resident Evil, Borderlands,
Resident
and a
Evil as
lot
well.
more. Question for Heavy Guy. Since you are more of a brawler, do you use fist weapons, like the killing gloves of boxing, the eviction notice,
That is a good point.
etc.,
So we never
during
saw him
some
using
fragging
any other
matches? Or just your
different
bare
things.
fists?
Bare fists, friend.
Oh,
They are never too slow or too quick. They are reliable and show your true strength without modifications.
but as a menu from the future, I don't know. When I will be from the past once I post this video.
Question for Skimmer. What was your
Skimmer.
biggest ever catch in one of your fishing trips?
This is a cool question.
That's a good one, mate. I wouldn't spill the beans on my biggest catch, but I'll tell you one of my most bizarre ones. It was a foggy morning. Me and some mates were out in a closed lake in the middle of an island, an abandoned place with ruins of ancient civilization. Didn't seem like much, but the place was too quiet, and the lake was massive, deceptively deep. We brought guns because not all fauna like to be caught, which is understandable. In the thick fog, we started to see some glowing lights, like wisps. We thought we were in an underworld influence place, so we started to row away. One of our rods got pulled from the boat, just swiped clean off the boat in a flash. Then, a scaly hand grabbed onto the boat and we just sprayed Hail Mary all over that hand with lead. We heard a scream inside the water. We reloaded our guns and out comes a bloody humanoid fish monster. The thing jumps on the boat and we shoot it for what felt like minutes.
Damn right.
Finally,
but I love
the creature
Craft
drops
or
dead in our
Lake.
boat. More of those lights show up in the fog. We turn on the engine and we just book it out of that bloody lake. The thing looked like a pyro, had a fish for a head, and the body was scaled, bullet resistant, I reckon. It wore some kind of tribal adornments, which I'm sure were worth a fancy dollar.
Could this also
And
be
the
a
rest
reference
is history,
to
mate.
like
Can't tell you all the details.
Blackimus pyro, like sea
How
creature
many
models?
people are helping you make those animations? Nobody.
Blackimus, do you need a hug? After that meme, I feel like you need a hug.
All of my animations are made by me and me alone. However, voice acting recently has gotten a lot of help from quite a few people, like
Hey guys, just before we continue, just would like to say thank you, Cinematic Sif, for subscribing.
Bodie, Scotch, Kirby, and Mitchell.
Thank you to all the voice actors for helping making a lot of great animation. Not great animation, but great voice acting. Let me just rephrase that. Thank you everyone who's helping Blackness. Take good care of him. Continuing.
Heavy Guy and Kia. When working in frag lobbies, what is your preferred loadouts of choice?
Default.
Default.
But I use sandwich instead of shotgun.
And I use gunboats.
Are the fighting scenes inspired by Crash Mall? Or did you just make the fighting animations on your own without any inspiration? My fighting scenes are not inspired by Crash Mall because if I were to be inspired by his fights, I would vow to never animate fights ever again. My fights do have inspiration from Baki, where I take some of it and blend it with my own style. Like Heavy Guy's uppercut to the Bruiser. That was completely inspired by Jack's uppercut to Pickle.
Nice.
Still from Baki. Even though I hate animating fights, at the end of the day, I'm always happy with the result.
Don't worry, we are
To
too.
Heavy Guy,
We love
can
him.
you punch Inji for me?
What, Deji? Desenji? I cannot.
He's just a
I
tank
can
that's
sense his
Genji.
overwhelming power. He is too strong!
To Smoke, does your girlfriend know that you use a bow?
Funny enough, that's how he started talking.
Oh, really?
She took an interest in me using a bow because who the hell would use a bow other than a sniper, right?
To Fixer, since you are a scout, do you have the mobility of a scout, mate?
Not really. I'm just
Really?
a civilian.
What is
Okay, now this is actually something very interesting to see. So, classes that are civilians or classes that are not a mercenary, they do not get the perks. They cannot double jump. They cannot have extra health. Now, this is a very interesting extension to the lore. This is something that I never expected to actually think that their general abilities would not apply if they're civilians. Maybe they would have to actually go through the training, get the medals and mercenary things, so their stats would adapt. That's very interesting. And Patas says, me when I'm happy, probably referring to the engineer just jumping to the heavy. Yeah, I agree with that.
What is your naming thought process with stand names and powers, or names in general? This is my process on average. Exceptions are possible. I come up with the stand user first. Class, backstory, personality. With these traits, I start thinking of a stand type. Humanoid or object. Humanoid is the most common, so we'll stick with that. So, humanoid stand. Find a fitting power, knowing the user, build it up with strengths and weaknesses, and then build the look. After all of this, I come up with a name that can be related to either the power, the theme, a music album, a song name, or completely unique, aka none of the above.
I would like just to mention that there are just so many times when playing D&D that I actually created a whole situation, character, or story just because I was listening to a specific music. And boy, when those musics actually fit perfectly with the character and the scene, that's heaven on earth. Hey, is that from Discord? Is that Accent? I think it is. Hi, Accent.
My question is about the SU. So, were you initially experimenting with different ideas, or were you not sure of what the show was going to be about until later? I already answered this question. The main idea changed midway through episode 1 to what we have today. The older Q&As explain this better. Would you say that you improved and or radically changed as an animator while producing the episodes? I am confident, proud, and recognize that I have improved drastically ever since I started with animation
You have
properly.
immensely.
Every time I look
Blackimus.
back at my older videos that I have made in these 3 years, I don't feel regret or disappointment. Just pure pride because I did the best I could with the experience I had at the time. Thank you and keep up with the good work. I feel that you're up with the likes of HoovyTube and the Fuck Boom in talent. Before I get into this last bit, a direct disclaimer in case people misunderstand what I'm going to say after this.
Okay. go
I'm
on.
not here to compete with anyone in the SFM community of animators. I am only here to do my thing, share my passion projects with you, and feel good about you enjoying them.
Nice.
I'm not a competitive person by nature, and due to my life experiences with it, I find it does exorbitantly more harm than good. If you are an animator looking for advice from me, take this and ingrain it in your head. Do not be competitive in the world of animation, and have fun making your projects. You can probably apply this to anything IRL too. That
That's
is
a good
all.
point. Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a good point. Nice
up
one,
with
Blackimus.
people like HoovyTube? Yes. In terms of the series we have, I believe his Magnificent 9 next to the Scratch universe are quite similar.
They
And his
reacted
series
to
is
the full
basically one
extent
that
of
I
it.
can recommend anytime someone wants to find a series like mine. I don't mention Slice of Life because this series of mine is living in its own universe, in complete solitude, having fun, doing its own thing.
With the exception of the bloopers.
Up with the boom? Nah, absolutely not. TSU will never reach levels of popularity like his Skibidi series.
But I just have to kind of interrupt over here. By the way, hi Billy, welcome to the stream. But I think that is just random, you know? The algorithm works in mysterious ways, and there's no complete way of knowing what's gonna be extremely successful. The fuckbone, he exploded. He became a world phenomenon with the Skibidi toilet series. But I don't think we can compare it to it. You know, they're just two different. They're two completely different vibes.
TSU to me is niche. Niche content does not cater to mainstream audiences. People like me who are trying to do an original series in SFM will pale in comparison, no matter what. But hey, if I'm wrong here, I hope YouTube proves me otherwise. Do you have the entire TSU story planned out, or do you write it as you go?
That's a cool one.
Both, actually. The story has the important bullet points among the episode list, so when I look at an episode's file, It shows me the important things that must happen in it. When it's time to grab an episode and go to work, I give the skeleton of the episode, the flesh and skin, to make it all work together. My only
And once again, I think that this is something that I've told Blackimus for what months now. Is that I think that he would love to be a dungeon master in D&D, just because that this is the exact way that I do my D&D games. You plan ahead of time for even great future events that you know you want to happen, and with each session, with each progress, you just add something new along the way that can impact all the world around it, but it will add up to the final experience. And this is great. This is a cool part of doing so, and I think that the great way that Blackimus has to fill his world with different things along the way, and just to make it more alive each time, I think that he would be great when playing D&D. And Billy says, "Me and my friend are playing Warzone right now. No problem. Thank you for coming, Billy. Hope that you're having a great night."
question is about slice of life. I use SFM and Blender to make my own FNAF art and such, and I was curious if your usage of older models for some characters, such as Springtrap, was a stylistic choice, or to preserve memory in certain shots or scenes. Exactly what you said. Most of it is for performance reasons, because for those of you who don't know, SFM cannot handle a lot of FNAF models loaded in the same project file. Even if the project itself is well optimized, which I already do. Springtrap's model is a case of performance plus good looks. Most of the character casts are the same thing, except for Wendy, where his model was a stylistic choice because there's lore reasoning behind it. Not sure if this has already been answered.
I'll be paying attention to that when there are not that many characters together in a scene. So maybe that's why there's a lot of back and forth between what the camera is focusing on.
But how come Hot Rod was killed instead of being distorted like everyone else at Railway United?
After all you have seen so far, does that remain a fact? Or is that what you want to believe? Don't let the eye fool the mind, partner.
So, he might still be alive somewhere. Oh, nice.
In the future, do you plan on using RVC AI voices to make real emotional voice lines from recordings for each or some characters in TSU? Yes, I do plan on using RVC, as I very recently got working on my computer out of necessity. If there's anything I have learned from the 15.ai situation, which affected TSU greatly, is that being dependent on a third-party website is a really bad idea. I'll still use 11 Labs because its AI is better at delivery in certain ways, some of its audio quality is also better, and its pricing plans aren't ridiculous yet. RVC has taken a huge weight off my back and has made me feel so much relief and freedom that I don't have to worry every single day anymore about the future of the writing for most characters that aren't voice acted by an actual person. Unlike Cinder, Heavy Guy, and Turge, I've run some tests on it and I'm very impressed with the result. Some voices I've tested are better than others, that much we already know, but I'll take what I can get.
I would like to quote that Blackman is absolutely right. The 15AI phenomenon on YouTube and on the TF2 community was something without precedence for the creative community. The only problem with that is that 15AI went down, came back up, went down again, and stayed down. And it is to date. And even worse, the TF2 15AI website has been completely wiped now. There isn't even the message anymore the last time that I looked. So all the people that started channels, videos, and even started good YouTube careers, just because they were able to make content using 15AI or in other platforms, some of them stopped. I myself, I did a 15AI video back in the day, a few years back now, I think. which was called the TF2 Mercs Tried to Open a Minecraft Server Season 0 because I planned to make a whole story out of it. But since 15, I never came back. I never was able to actually continue or go ahead. And it's just a massive cliffhanger, and maybe we'll never just be able to go ahead and see it because I just don't feel content with any other AI machine of voice creator. It's just sad, but it's true. You need to learn that you cannot depend on the third-party websites that are just up and you're using it for free. They can go away anytime, and that's it. Hey, Alex Creations. I did that we've received Alex a few times into the comment section. So hi Alex, how you doing? Let's continue.
To Beth and Plushtrap, what is the best skill and talent you both can do? If so, then can it either be helpful or useful in some way?
Do I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you look at me and you
Why does Beth kind of looks like a humanoid cockroach?
can pretty much see I'm not, from here. I'm supernatural. I can go invisible in darkness. I can float. So I think I can be useful in here during Halloween times. I can do like poltergeist activity.
You can spy.
Zoom by people, scare people. I can do that.
And I can use paranormal powers with Beth's help. I don't know what skills I have. I'd like to say I'm just like any other animatronic here. I do my job, but unlike them, I don't really like my role. Kids are annoying.
Hey, come on. You're not just an animatronic.
Ooh,
Beth,
your
I
securities
get
are
where you're
showing
coming
up, a little
from,
plush trap.
but I'm using your skills here. Without your skills, I'm just a really small animatronic who doesn't like working and isn't that social with customers at all.
A very small animatronic who managed to win the heart of a tall, beautiful, and sexy human woman with his personality.
Well, that's right.
And who also managed to get me, a limbo native, romantically attracted to a completely different world of species.
That's right. Well, hope you got something out of all of this.
Don't worry, I think that the fandom got enough motivation for some suspicious arts. Don't worry.
What's Kia's favorite food?
Hey Kia,
Oh,
what's your
yeah.
favorite food?
A good steakhouse burger. Any kind.
Oh, he's right. Those are really damn good.
My bet.
You never ate one?
A good one? I am not sure anymore.
We'll fix that soon.
Is it possible?
Hey, look, there's a
for the
little robot, the alien robot from the Distorted.
distortion virus to affect non-human animals, or does it require sapiens to effectively create
That's a
a
cool
drone?
one.
Yes, it is possible. And I had the idea in mind to have distorted animals show up, like dogs, cats, and birds. They would act as pure cannon fodder, effectively zombie-like. I scrapped the idea because it didn't really stick with me after some time, also because I really don't like animating quadrupeds and animals in general. So yeah, I might change my mind later
Yeah, I
down
can
the
understand
line,
that.
like how I did with female mercenaries not being a part of TSU, and then we ended up with Smoke and Cinder, and more. You never know.
To Foster, what do you think
Hey,
of other
Foster.
TSU characters? Fixer and Jumpsuit are good in my book. Bonkbot, I'll have to wait and see. And those 3 stand users, I'll wait for Bravo to retrieve the backbone files first. What is your greatest fear? My greatest fear? Losing everyone. What kind of life did you live before
The fear
TSU?
of any leader.
What kind of life did I live before TSU? A really hard and busy one, where I had to prove myself and push above my physical and mental limits way too many times. It was all worth it in the end, though.
I think that for as far as we know, Foster and his team are not stand users. But it's incredible to see just the extent of what their training brought to them. And how can one actually achieve all of that, Because we got the great sniping skills from a sniper companion, we got the his speed and strength. He was able to stop a train faster, that is. And then we got the Spyduke has that I think cool teleportation or invisibility device that I think it's superior to other ones because he was spying for a long time into many infected regions. So that's very cool.
Also, thank you so much for everything, Blackimus. I wonder if your stack of fan arts include mine. You're welcome, Pacer. And absolutely, you already did so much for the show, so
Nice.
I gotta show you my thanks for that. I think I got every fan art you did on the showcase. Guys, check out Pacer on Twitter.
Ooh,
They
that's a
made
cool
a
profile
ton of
pic.
really awesome fan art for TSU, like the VAC, the Stan User Boyos, and the 3 Scout Brothers. And even the very first fan-made comic.
Let me have a read that. Hey, Bravo, do you think she could make it? Don't. Sunshine could? You know you can catch him. But wait, do you think she can make it? Sunshine could? Guys, I'm terribly sorry. I don't think I actually get the joke. I'm terribly sorry. I don't get the joke.
Like, I never even expected us to reach this far. Here we are. I'm grateful. In what did consist your vacation/break you took? Did something fun? Or just wanted to get relaxed? I relaxed, took time away from animation, played some sweet games, solo, and with
Warframe, Deep Rock Galactica, Little Comedy, good one. Cobble Moon, Payday 3, Forewarned, Team Fortress 2, MVM only. Oh, okay. Also, I guess that when you spoke so much about MVM, you actually were just leaving a piece of the. I mean, as smoke, you actually left a piece of your opinion there. Then, when you spoke about the toxicity there, yeah, but everyone can join in the game mode.
good friends
But I
of mine.
can't anymore. Not
Worked
that
on
much.
background things like the future side projects, did some personal SFM pictures, worked on both Wikipedias, did quite a few things. You can get more consistent updates, quote unquote, on Blackimus's Twitter. Can we get more information about how the human abilities work on the TSU, like we saw in the last part with Bravo, Foster, and Dispatch? You'll get your answers in due time along the episodes. How many stand
Nice.
users do you plan to add to the series? Very few left, actually. I don't want to bloat the series with stand users. The entire point of TSU isn't just stand users. I can only remember 2 from the top of my head. One's confirmed to appear soon, and the other one's likely to be added eventually. Things might change, but I honestly doubt it. To
This is
Chatter,
interesting.
as you seem to work with Foster, do you have any special abilities yourself?
I
Hey, the
can
janitor.
clean things really, really well. If that counts.
I mean, you were sleeping a lot of the time that
How
Pixar and the
common
jumpsuit
are
were there.
stand users?
Hey, Arch, how you doing? Oh, it's been such a long time since I saw like Arch appear to one of these. Damn, this is so cool. Oh, I hope Arch is doing well.
Not a damn clue, but I'd like to keep them rare.
I
Are
used to
the
play
Man
D&D
Brothers
with
still
Arch.
alive? I don't want to bring TF2 canon characters like the Man Brothers, Gray Man, Saxton, Hale, Pauling, etc. into TSU. I want to keep TSU as unique as possible with its character roster while paying respect to the TF2 universe itself. Is Saxton Hale still around? He won't be around in TSU. Best that I can do is a reference or
It
two.
would be too OP.
Is
Yeah.
it possible for the distortion to affect machines/magical beings? Robots can be infected, but it's with the use of whimmers. That's why they exist. However, regarding the rest, I haven't given it much thought, as I already have too much work on my table. Turge proves that prejudice regarding the mercenaries exists, scouts and badlanders in his case. But how widespread are these beliefs? They are as widespread as the people who want to be bothered with prejudice in the first place. Turge follows this ideal because he is a judgmental character, while Skimmer scolds him off to stop being this way. It's happened in episode 5 and episode 6. This is why I like writing Turge, because he is a different character and gives a different view on TSU's world. Would Turge
Interesting.
and others show disdain for the strange mercenaries from the first episode, or even stand users? People fear the unknown, so if someone like Turge ever
That's
saw an
true.
anomaly, like the ones from episode 1, he would definitely avoid it at all costs and insinuate lots of bad things. If he saw a stand user like Heavy Guy, Kia, or Smoke, chances are he would never know this unless he witnessed them doing something. However, if Turge ever saw the stand team helping other people out, he'd eat his words and take it on the chin. He may be a judgmental person, but he's not immature or afraid of change. By the way, people, not
Cool.
Sophism, if I pronounced that correctly, is one of the lovely people behind the TV Tropes page for TSU, in case you're not aware of it.
Hey,
I cannot
nice.
really explain what TV Tropes are because I honestly don't even know how to phrase it in a way anyone would understand. But if you know, you know. They do their research, they do their homework, and the pages have my personal approval. It is a
Cool.
joy to read them. You heard them. If you are into this business, feel free to help them out. Just please respect the source and don't add misinformation. To Fixer, I know you feel like it's your fault for what happened, but it's not. No one could have predicted an attack from aliens, of
I
all
still want to
things.
see how
So
Fixer
please,
Figures he plays
Don't blame yourself for
on
what
the future
happened,
episodes.
and don't let PTSD tell you otherwise.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Question to Foster.
Oh,
Have
poor
your
guy.
soldiers killed a walker?
Even the responses now, as soon as it happened, Fixer was so broken, but now he's just haunted, you know? It feels so bad because just by that response, I feel like he's just tired of hearing people just say that he shouldn't let that get to him. Just see everything's gonna be okay. You're safe now, and this and that and everything else. And we're just like, yeah, I'm trying. Damn, I feel so bad for Fixer.
Drone to where it was intact? And if so, maybe you could have tweaked it to where you can turn infected back. To where it was intact, not a chance in hell. Even if we did, reverse engineering something out of that technology, I don't know. But one thing is for certain, you cannot fix distortion. People want to believe in this, believe that you can cure it, but you can't.
Well, we have seen a guy actually being able to just oh, what's the word of it? He was just able to avoid it. Something happened that didn't allow him to be truly distorted. But this is something we're gonna have to see, and we're gonna have to wait. So, wait we shall.
Soldier, Heavy, and Smoke. Do you sometimes feel like your stands are watching you 24/7? Oh yeah, yep. It was really bad when I first got Switch,
And
but
must be such a
everyone
weird
gets used to it
sensation.
after a while.
But it is not a bad thing. When you feel you are being watched, you will then know it is someone else, and not the stand.
Yeah, win-win.
Ah, interesting.
To Vixen from
Like
Slice of Life.
Jedi sense.
Have you and Plushtrap ever argued? I bet you did.
Yeah, I also bet you guys did.
Yeah, we have. But it is really short-lived because we then make amends almost immediately afterwards with hugs and kisses.
Our next question is
I gotta admit that I don't know. I just imagine Plushtrap and Vixen, if not for their more like a shy personality, sometimes with annoying topics, I just would see them get into such a toxic relationship. I don't know why. If they weren't kind of both more insecure people with a lot of things and to talk with about those things, I just feel like there will be some major toxicity involved. But gladly, it's not the case.
from the man himself, HoovyTube.
Nice.
If you know
Hoovy's
who
here.
he is, nice. If you don't, well, do your research. He's the biggest channel so far who has acknowledged my existence.
Cool.
Someone who's been
Congrats.
around for a hell lot longer than I have. And he's also one of the people who has just recently finished a good SFM series with similarities to mine called The Magnificent Nine. In case you're
I
curious,
reacted to
the
everything.
second biggest channel is Silent Man Joe. Yeah. But yeah, how many
I was
hours
about
do
to
you
make a
animate
Joe Mama
in an
joke,
average
but I
day?
just held myself
Between
with all my
1
strength.
to 6 hours a day.
Wow.
But the way I work, so I avoid burnout and among other things, I can work as little as 1 hour. If I'm in a good mood, building momentum, or animating things that I enjoy more, or
So
are
animating
easier to
things
do,
nowadays
I tend to do a
impressive.
lot more than just
I don't know if
1
those
hour.
are rookie numbers,
On
but
average,
still, good
it's
job.
between 3 to 4 hours a day. What parts of TSU draw inspiration from your personality/life? I am not aware of it if I do take inspiration from my life/personality to TSU. If I do, I probably do it out of subconscious
Oh,
things
I think you do. I have a few
think about when I'm
examples.
writing. So it could be either be a bit of everything from my life or nothing at all depending on the person. But one thing is for certain. Slice of life to me feels a lot more personal, since I do know for a fact that some of the things I write about do take notes from general life things, not just my own. I won't go into details about that.
Okay.
What
But I am 100% sure that Smoky Steak on MVM, it's your personal take as well. Because just seeing you showcase that you've played only MVM on TF2 just de-stress and to relax. I think that you have the same take as Smokes. I think it was your personal take, it's just being spoken by Smoke. That's my personal guess on that. Everything else is your personal life and yeah, let's take up to the series and things. I will not make assumptions about any other thing.
media inspires your own creations? Generally speaking, 80% of inspiration comes from video games. It's what I enjoy. I don't really care about movies, shows, comics, books, and anything between those lines. Although I can grab elements of inspiration from those, they pale in comparison to games, because that's my main interest and hobby. Sorry, man. I'm not really an interesting person in real life.
Oh, don't
For-
say that, Blackmas. Come on, don't say that. Oh, you made so many great things. And so many of those things I would be able to talk with you for hours. Don't say that. Come on. It doesn't matter if you don't like the mainstream things that people like. Don't remember that just a few decades ago, those things like in video games, animes, and other things were a weirdo's choice, if you know what I mean. But nowadays, it's just so mainstream that we have so many people that are abdicated to know everything about the smallest things. Like, for example, me with the Scratch universe and the slice of life nowadays. But my point is, don't call yourself like a not an interesting person just because you don't like those things. You can like other things. Just saying.
For Blackimus, will there be mercenaries immune to the distortion? I've said before and I'll say it again. Nobody will be immune to the distortion, and there will not be a cure for it. That's not a trope I'm going to follow. Heavy
Okay, he's about to
guy
comment
is
on it.
not immune. Period. The reason he's alive is because of what happened between Omen's part and afterwards. Look again. Will there be rare type mercenaries / freaks? Let me try to explain this the best way I can. Example, a green scout who has the abilities to teleport and has super strength, or an orange soldier who has the abilities to manipulate fire, or something like that. In a way, I kind of did, but probably not in the main TSU series itself. I can't really add a billion things to the series, otherwise I'm never going to be able to go anywhere with it. As side
Eventually,
stories,
eventually you will. Don't forget, you're making universes within universes.
absolutely possible. Do the distorted mercenaries hear normal mercenaries in reverse now, or is everything the same? And how do they see when their face is all distorted? Everything's the same. They understand.
Wait, just
see when
just a
they're-
little say. And how they seem when they face are all distorted. But not intended. I will contest you. You wrote that, so you made it sure that you wanted to kind of do a pun. So yeah, that was an intended pun. No, you cannot say pun not intended after writing like that.
their face is all distorted. Everything's the same. They understand and can talk English. They just choose not to do it. They don't care about our convenience. And how can they
sense.
see with a distorted face? Well, you see, the answer is
We just do. Deal with it.
for jumpsuit. When you and Fixer first encountered the distorted pyro, you seemed shocked, as if that was your first time seeing one, even though you knew what the distortion was to begin with. Since you already knew about the fire weakness, I'm pretty sure it wasn't your first run-in with them. So, why were you shocked?
I have no reasons.
To smoke. Was wondering who are the other mercenaries you do scrapping duty with, besides your girlfriend, and what do you think of them? We're a group of 4. All of us are pyros.
Ah.
This is a group photo of us. From left to right, Flint,
Ooh.
Cinder, Ash, and me. Smoke, in case you didn't know. Flint's our tank and brawn of the team. Born in the Badlands. Used to be a miner and a farmer. He likes to use an explosive sledgehammer, courtesy of the mines he worked on. The big man can duke it out with a heavy and win most of the times because he has a lot of technique around physical combat. He's got survival skills, he's a tactician, and can think of a plan on the fly. He can break a giant apart if you give him time and babysit him. That's my job. He's a quiet guy, meant a few words, but he cares about everyone on the group. Doesn't make a scene, unlike someone else you'll know soon enough.
Oh no.
He's also quite polite. The man was an honest worker, if you can believe it. Well, as honest as it can get in the Badlands. What the
Show us, Smoke. Show us.
How the hell did this... How the hell did that get in this... Must have been Ash. Definitely Ash. How did she even get her hands on this?
I'm scared of what
yeah,
it is.
speak of the devil. Ash. This is Ash. She's a bit of a blood...
I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions, Blackimus. I don't want to make assumptions. But guys, never trade any kind of compromising pictures all around, okay? Never. Ever. If you send something to someone, it's a no man's land. Never send any compromising pictures to anyone. Okay? Let's
thirsty,
continue.
crazy chick, a loudmouth, likes attention, but also doesn't somehow. She likes to show off her looks like most pyro bimbos. But all this aside, she knows her way around the battlefield.
So she's basically a Harlequin wannabe, right?
Also from the Badlands. She's a tactician, also has skills in close quarters combat, quite fast too. Likes rocking the shotgun with an axe playstyle. She has this high-tech magnetic bracelet on her arm, which makes her do some really crazy things, like shrapnel tornadoes, dash herself in a direction quickly, throw her axe with insane force, and then call it back, no problem. Number 1 advice around Ash, don't be a scout. She will love to break you apart. Not literally.
I think that the majority of the TFT community agrees
if you're a scout and she notices you, just run away. Save yourself the trouble. We started off in bad terms, kinda.
Yeah, she
because
seems to be very
they were
toxic.
way too overprotective and clingy over Cinder, even after she told him to back off from me. They tested me. So, I stood my ground and gave them reasons to respect me. Now, we're in good terms. We got there. If you earn their respect, they'll treat you as family. Oh, hi.
Yo,
What's up? You good?
do I gotta teach some little bitches a lesson?
Not this time, Ash.
No? Well, if they are, let me know.
Yeah.
Now they became all
So,
overprotective.
you like that little surprise I give you? That Cinder...
I knew it.
God,
I knew it.
there's a camera. Sheesh. Also, yes, I did.
I don't know, but I kind of have a feeling that maybe Ash and the Cinder had a thing before this. I don't know. I just have a feeling. But yeah, once again, guys, never share any compromising pictures anywhere. Never. Okay.
This is a question directly to you. Oh, we're getting personal here. Alright, let's do this.
How can we get more personal when compared to the previous scene that we just had?
Have you ever played Monster Hunter?
Nope.
If so, what do you think of it?
Absolutely nothing.
If not,
I
when
love
will you
that.
fix that?
Never.
I knew it.
I've seen
Amazing.
Monster Hunter and
Amazing.
have friends who play it. It's not my kind of game. To Hope, why did you feel threatened by Springtrap during the sleepover with Plushtrap? And what made you act that way exactly?
It seems our humans are fearless knights of a million kingdoms in the surface.
What Hope is trying to say is that we see Springtrap differently because of our vision. What you see is not exactly what we see. You see an old animatronic with a body and two humans. We see a caged noble demon of unbridled justice behind them, hiding inside that casket. That is not to say we find them a bad person, because they are not. But it is difficult to get used to them.
To Ennard, if there was one thing you could change, what would it be?
You have been given a purpose, a duty. Times before the tainted malice left the company.
To Vixen and Plushtrap, how long have you been in a relationship? And what did you think of one another the first time you met?
To Vixen and Plushtrap, how long have you been in a relationship? We've been in a relationship for like 4 months? Yeah, close to
Ah.
5 now.
Nice.
And what did you think
I
of
thought it
one
was
another
a
the
little bit
first
longer,
time
but
you
it makes
met?
sense.
Oh god.
Here we go.
You don't want to know.
Here we go.
In my case, I thought he was a kid, like Bon Bon, so I treated him like a little kid. I was being careful, spoke
Honestly, I thought
calmly,
too. I thought he was like.
squatted down, arms on my knees.
Honestly, a lot of the animatronics around the, like the slice of life, give that impression. Having a kind of an age roll into that. I still call him like a little Springtrap because he's just small. He's just very, very small. So he seems like a kid. And I will admit that sometimes it's kind of weird to see a relationship between Vixen and him just because of the sheer size and the body proportions difference, Continuing.
Leaned over him and said those first words.
Oh yeah, what were they?
Do we really have to say this? Hey, little guy. What's your name? This isn't part of the question, Vix! Okay. So what did you think of me at the time?
Oh no, here we go. Go on. Oh, he's even blushing.
I don't want to say it. He's too shy.
To Ballora, who do you value the most out of everyone?
Well, that's a tricky one.
I value everyone equally.
Yeah, I thought that was going to
Everyone
be
deserves a chance.
the answer.
The only factors that fluctuate amongst everyone is how much I trust them. In this regard, I hold many close to my heart. My fellow acolytes, Damocles, Vixen. There are many more.
Blackimus, I've got a question for you. Is it possible someday, in the future, either through Patreon or a Discord server, to submit OCs there that can be used for background characters / infected for the Scratch universe? I've already thought about it, and I honestly don't see a good reason to do it. I don't want people to submit OCs that have a billion different items and textures, unusuals, killstreak effects, and other complicated things.
Makes sense.
I don't want any of that, because that will ruin the thing. And I already know if I do that, I'll...
The thing being the moment, imagine in episode 6 part 2 of the Scratch universe during this serious part with the now destroyed passengers, where Kia lectures everyone on how serious and dangerous situations for all men. Now replace the passengers with Lime Scout, with Lime Unusuals, Lime Killstreak effects, and other stupid things. That's the problem. Okay, I can see your point.
I'll get flooded with incredibly tedious and difficult OCs, like I said. And I don't...
Even if people will respect the TSU setting and give OCs that look that doesn't smell, this is obviously a This is obviously a patron DLC. Whether you like it or not, would have to be changed to be accepted in the place they would appear in. I can imagine can just kill the vibe of the moment. Some OCs also require custom content, retextures people have to have made for them. Rightfully so, I'm not saying this is a problem. And worst of all, paintable cosmetics. Why is this last one a big problem? Because SFM's painting shtick is not how it is in TF2s and Gmod. It's older and unreliable since the result will most likely not be the same as you see in the two games. You know what this all means? More work for me. Most of the OCs to be added would probably be memes slash jokes loadouts with the obvious nature of the TF2 communities. I like jokes, but they need to be in a good taste to begin with. Yeah, I can agree, understand with that. After seeing like Lazy Purple's or what was the name of the video? It was a Halloween kind of joke video where he just explains the problem of animating the how it feels to play engineer, and he just showcases especially the problem with certain cosmetics being the different colors or just glitching left and right because of the colors that they're chosen to have. And yeah, makes sense. So that's why we don't have many painted cosmetics. Noted. Let's continue.
Don't need any more work than I have already. I'm sorry. I also see some people doing this out of pure selfish reasons, just to get themselves featured in a show that they probably don't care about.
By some of the comments I get on my videos, I can safely assume that giving these same people an opportunity to add themselves to my work would be insane so to my work and myself. Some of these people also don't care if the slightest of the fact that this is a creator's work, my work. They just want to add themselves to other people's things without a single ounce of consideration or respect.
Just so they can gloat to their friends. Hey look, my OC got featured in this show. People who think this way do not deserve my attention and respect, much less being added to my work. I already get comments from people.
But here's the main TLDR reason I'm not doing this OC thing. I don't want more work to the pile.
Who request for me to add their fan-made characters or fan-made stands without a care in the world, without respecting the source, my input, or anything related to my work. That's not okay, and I do not tolerate that behavior. Some of them have already gone out of their way to annoy me personally with private messages on Patreon.
That's so annoying.
Doing this OC feature perk for Patreons would just be opening the floodgates for even more problems. Patreon right now is only there for people who want to support me by donations. The money from there.
If you want to support my Patreon, feel free to do it, but make sure you aren't bringing yourself financial trouble. It's always important. Patreon is there for the development funds that I use for all things related to my work, paying voice actors, skipping subscriptions for things like 11 Labs Go, and etc. Whatever is necessary for my work to stay afloat.
Is development funds, where I will use it to pay voice actors like Kirby and Mitchell and to keep my pricing plan for 11 Labs going so I can keep making these videos. A Discord server to me is just too much work.
Discord server seems like it's really easy, and it is if it's a private server with no public intentions. However, try to moderate a big populated server by yourself when you're already filled to the brim with work from your animations, and also in real life things get in the way. All the nests like spam, bots, people bothering me with messages, pings, and all that, no thanks. And yes, I could get people to be extra moderators to help me out, but that doesn't guarantee an improvement. You probably know a lot more stories of moderators that not being good examples at all, jokes and memes about Discord mods aside. Plus, I love to have my personal space and to not be bothered.
Responsibilities, and it will cause problems for me. I don't need more of those. However, if you want to make a fan server, a fan Discord server for TSU or whatever, be my guest.
Okay.
Just be aware, I do not represent those servers.
Noted.
Have you ever thought about switching to Blender? I have. Like I said before in another question about Blender and SFM, I am very well aware of SFM's biggest and smallest problems. I am aware that Blender is really good, really stable, constantly supported with assets, updates, yada yada yada. Even so, I'm sticking with SFM. I think it's easier to learn, not as overwhelming with the menus, tabs, UI, and all that. I very slowly, passively, started to learn how to port models to SFM. And let me tell you, everything is so damn confusing, and I'm just not going to commit to Blender to learn the animation part of it. I've already had that colossal headache for the years I was learning SFM. I'm not doing that again. No thanks. I'm just using Blender for the frame to video rendering method that I use, and very slowly figured out porting models.
You know, this is exactly what I said before about Blender when we had this answered on the previous question, and I'll use a kind of an example. I play D&D online. I use Roll20, but a lot of my players and other people like to use a platform called Foundry VTT. Foundry is a paid platform. You need to buy it to be able to use it. As Roll20, there's a free option. And one of the things that majorly kind of impede me to go to Foundry is not only money, because for me it's a good amount of money since the exchange rate between the coins, but it's just also because after years of grinding to try to learn Roll20 and just spending years trying to learn to teach and to see new features to arrive and having to learn about them and to just get over all of the problems and to adapt to them, it's just so horrible to imagine to have to go through all of that again. So I think that once again, don't be scared or afraid to test new things or to slowly change to new platforms for your progress or personal, leisure things that you like to do. But I'm gonna stay with Blackimus on this one. It's just so horrible to think that we need to go through all of that thing again for a new platform. But let's continue.
Will you create a join button? You mean channel memberships? I mean, I might. But like Patreon, I don't plan on promising things I know I can't keep, like giving members additional extra content, behind the scenes, or whatever else is usually expected. I know I'm not going to be able to meet those expectations in a healthy way. The most I can do is add funny emojis from whatever I make. And that's really it.
As I said, all Blackimus tiers today are purely support tiers. I don't think you get anything in return, but I don't see any problem with that. You help with what you want to help, as long as that does not financially cause a problem for you, as Blackimus said himself. But yeah, I think that there's no problem with that. Just do your thing, Blackimus.
For Blackimus, what is your favorite TF2 class?
Let's go. The little friend. There were so many instances that I told Blackimus that I thought that his favorite character was a heavy because of the fedora, which is a heavy hat, and as well as just once seeing a heavy with the fedora walking around the town in the Scratch Universe series. And more than once, Blackimus had to come into like the beautiful man that he is to just step onto the comment section and remind me, now, I'm not a heavy, I'm a spy. Come on, then, you know that. Thank you for your patience. And once again, thank you for all the beautiful times that you came to the comment section just to say, hey, you comment about this? Here. And then he just shows up a text of 20 just different observations about my observations. Never change, Blackimus. You're wonderful the way you are.
Heavy weapons guy. And this.
Mental Gen.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect this, but I can respect
class.
It. I thought. Okay.
Heavy.
God damn it, Blackimus! You just made me make this whole statement just to throw that joke in the end. God damn it.
Weapons guy. And this.
Mental Gen, this is Wildfire, a fellow fan of the channel and a lovely human being who has reacted to TSU and Slice of Life with his mates.
Nice.
Support him.
The first question, to Heavy Guy Key and Smoke. You guys have such a great sync when it comes to combat. Natural adaptation?
When capable fighters are thrown into a pit, they have to adapt, or they will die. Unfortunately, not everyone adapts at the same rate, but it is within our primitive instincts. The combinations we've done so far with our powers are a result of this. We'll explore more of these tactics as we naturally grow with experience and observation. Good question.
Second question. Are we going to see P. Rick again? I have big plans for P. Rick.
I imagine.
All because people have shown overwhelming love and interest over him, which made me reconsider him as a character. So yeah, here's a little fun fact about him. Question for him too.
Did you consider potentially joining KIA and Heavy Guy? Yeah, a part of me was happy to have found more people like me. People who have a stand. But knowing our little problem, I don't think they'd take it kindly at all. So I kept myself at bay. I never bothered to find them. I just went on my way to finally fix myself. So far, it's been nothing but good things, one after another. I'd like to see them again, but we'll see.
No! Damn it, boy! Hey, Rick! We could use your help!
I'm on my way.
I'm scared, but this opens so many possibilities about when they're gonna find him again. I will gather my thoughts, and in the future, I will be able to express them better. But maybe no, I cannot. I cannot. There will be this video will be 3 hours long if I start to comment on every single thing like that. Let's move on. We still have over an hour of video to get through. Let's go.
Third and last, do you mind the fact that, you know, I'm in the furry fandom? I think you already know the answer to this question, mate. Remember TSU episode 1's reaction? I found you, watched the video, loved the video, commented on the video, subscribed to you.
As he always does, Blackimus is a very cool guy. Not only because of the amazing work he does, but because he goes ahead and he comments every single thing that you point out on his videos. You can go back to any of my reactions or other people's reactions, like for example I have when I want to see other points of views on the video if I missed anything. He comments on every single thing. I've made 3-hour videos about each episode sometimes. It happens. And he just goes ahead, he puts the timestamp, comments on top of it. There was even once with, I believe, episode 6 part 2, where I had a shit ton of audio problems, and Blackimus, the fucking child of a Portugal man that he is, just went ahead and still did the same. I do not know how long he did it for, to just be able to try to hear me correctly, just to presume what I said when my audio cut every time. But he commented on every single thing. I am already not the best one to communicate the things that I try to think at the time, just because my main language is not English. I'm a very hyperactive person, so things can get a little bit mixed up when I'm actually saying them. But Blackimus always took his time to try to hear and to just respond to everything to the best of his abilities. And that's what makes him a content creator to have respect for. Not only for the content that he produces, but by the way he interacts with his community.
And shared your channel on my channel.
He always does that as well.
As a show of gratitude and consideration. Ever since then, I've been looking forward to your reactions.
Nice.
Along with many other people's reactions.
Nice.
As a personal motivation goal, if that makes sense to you. Personally, I got nothing against the furry fandom. My logic is simple in this regard. If people respect me, I will respect them. There are always bad apples amongst every single fandom in existence.
True.
Fandoms like the furries, bronies, anime fans, and all similar ones do not bother me. Simple as that. They're
excluding certain ethical and disturbing communities, you can figure that
personal
one out.
likes, interests, or whatever else doesn't bother me. Again, as long as they respect mine in return, you're all good in my book, Wild. Trust me. Don't forget about what I told you about the VR chat videos you make. Okay, man? I am also really eager to show everybody the new projects I plan to develop very soon. I really cannot wait to see your reactions, man. You, Coles, Isaacs, whoever tags along with you. It was a delight to see your questions, Wild. Stay safe, man. I hope everything's going to be okay with you. Godspeed. Are there any characters you've had to redesign?
Seeing Blackimus give such a warm-hearted response like this kind of makes me like a little bit annoyed that I didn't manage to send a question to this Q&A. I was just so busy with college that I just allowed it to slip through. Yeah, I'll save it for the fourth Q&A, maybe in a year or so. So guys, if you're watching this, allow me to ask you to remind me to send a question to Blackimus.
Design/tweak due to SFM jank / difficulty to animate.
Oh, so that's why, like, for the left one I can understand, but that's why the right ones, they are standing still most of the time?
Ultra obvious technical nightmares aside, no character rings any bells on having to be redesigned or changed. When I design new characters, I usually consider SFM's problems in mind firsthand, so I don't end up wasting my time making something that is doomed to fail. Honestly, now that I think about it, yes, I did have to technically redesign the entire distorted models, because the normal TF2 models have a really annoying thing called flex decay. In very simple terms, flex decay makes any kind of facial expression have smooth transitions, so it doesn't look choppy, I guess. I don't really care if I'm wrong here. I hate models with flex decay because it makes me have to decompile them to remove the property. I had to research and learn how to do it. After a lot of torture, I finally managed to do it. I removed flex decay from a lot of models. The 9 mercenaries, static objects like puddles, liquids, curtains, and cloth. It was completely necessary.
And what?
Liquids, curtains, and cloth. It was completely necessary, as I was completely fed up of it. Anyway, the distorted facial expressions were never 100% there for this reason, and the technicalities always bugged me as I hopelessly tried to fix them in-game with tons of band-aids, which did absolutely nothing. So yeah, to sum up, yes, I did. And not just characters, but props too. I love and hate SFM. Question to Kia. Does American Myth's weaponry ever run out of ammunition?
I don't think so.
Or is it based on another factor?
All stand abilities operate out of mental fortitude within our souls. The more we use, and/or the stronger the ability, the more strain we put on our brain. There are many side effects, with the worst being death.
If the distortion is from another universe, does that mean there is a chance it has entered Slice of Life? In the crossovers I plan on doing, absolutely.
Cool.
This will not be canon, obviously. Distortion is exclusive to TSU in canon.
I don't know why, but I can just imagine Springtrap and Kia having a beer.
Do you plan every scene, or is there some improv at times? Both. Sometimes the best ideas I get come as improv mid-development. Is smoke trends?
I mean, technically, yeah. I'm fine with it.
You know, I think that this second question is a question that a lot of people will make. And it's a question that I think I have commented many times, but I'll comment once again. The way that Blackimus just addresses like these many topics, for example, maybe transitioning or maybe like using different pronouns, it's something that we, or human species, we're starting to debate more nowadays. There's a new generation that think that these changes should be something to be accepted by everyone. And as we know, not a lot of people can will agree with that straight away, and some people never will. But the beauty of how this the Scratch universe and the slice of life just deal with everything is just to put it into a more fantasy ground. Because when we started to just associate those things to the characters through more fantasy like situations, then it's weird to say, but in a way, we it's more easy for us to accept that those things are real in the story than are us to actually to accept that they're real in real life. So just to try to sum it up, I don't know if I'm explaining right. Every time it's a little bit funky for me to explain this, but it's just that Blackmas just presents the situations as calmly as they could be. He can present them as real struggles, as we can see, for example, with Beth and the little spring trap. You know, to when they're just two minds in the same body. When it's for like a Vixen, who was a person that had their soul like trapped in an animatronic, and just coming to terms with changes that sometimes are not even theirs to make. For example, the question says, "Is Smoke trans?" Smokey he says, "Kinda." It was something that just happened, and by technicality, puts Smoke into this situation or into this category. So, kinda, you know. I think that I could just spend like an hour here just trying to fully explain what I'm trying to explain and still not get anywhere. But TLDR, Blacksmith does a great job just representing real struggles with his character stories. Even though they're not directly about our problems, we can relate to them. That's basically it.
What are some of your plans for the SOL series? Keep going? Give everyone a fair chance at the spotlight? Special episodes, hopefully. Why did you turn Smoke into a girl? Because it made sense knowing the Stan's origins and powers. And honestly, she looks a lot better this way. How did you come up with ideas for the...
Wait a minute, Blackmas. Don't tell me you're what is the name of that streamer that was browsing around through like his loadouts and he had the like inflated Vampiro model? You know that one? Are you one of, do you have that model installed? I will have to inspect your PC later, Blackmas.
The Stans by using my...
And by the way, if you have any more weird smoke pictures, just take them away before I inspect. Just a heads up.
Giga brain and my insane imagination. Does gay band exist?
Nope.
Do you consider remaking the Scratch Universe Episode 1? I actually have considered remaking it to my standards nowadays, but not a lot would change. The first half would get completely reworked and the second half would be remade. If you did a video series about Zombie Army Trilogy, how would it start? I have no idea. I don't even know what that is. Also, would you be thinking about making your own skip...
I gotta watch that again. I gotta watch that again.
Would you be thinking about making your own skip...
Just look at that face. It's like when you work at fast food and you just see a family of 5 walking in minutes before the end of your shift. Just that beautiful face.
Smoke, what's your opinion on random crits?
Fair and balanced, as long as I'm the one who gives them.
I agree with that. Yes, even the thumbs up. I agree with that.
Is speed and super strength your main abilities, or do you have more?
In the VAC, you don't become an L5 by just having those 2 abilities. The L5s are the best of the best in the entire server network. Use this information as you wish.
Also, you gotta have a cool voice over the radio.
Bunkbot, would you want to be a superhero? And if so, why?
Yeah, I think I would, cause I think that's my duty, you know?
I
was built to protect my owner, and I did that successfully. But the Railway United incident, it made me think about it. There's people out there who need the help, and maybe I could be their guy, you know? I need to prove to the world that not all robots are evil. There's some of us good guys out there.
As we saw, They are a boss that deserted Gray Man's army and now work normal day jobs. You know, as we saw into, I think it was a Slice of Life episode 6, part 1, or Slice of Life episode 5. It's a little bit fuzzy, it's been a while. I need to rewatch that any day. But let's go.
Will you make an Attack on Titan series in future episodes?
That would be cool.
No?
It makes
I mean,
sense.
look,
Makes
we all
sense.
need to accept that Attack on Titan is over, and it's probably not going to get a sequel at all. I have enjoyed Attack on Titan, but me making an animated series of that in SFM would just be impossible. All the models, maps, assets, getting music rights to all of the soundtracks, the animation itself having to be anime styled but actually good, the incredibly massive fandom who would complain about anything I do wrong or inaccurately, and doing all of this by myself because of how I do my workflow? Nah, man. To Jumpsuit, do you think of Fixer as a friend or a brother?
The little brother I never had. Yeah, I don't know. When I see their dynamic, you guys can critic as me as much as you want, but I kind of see it in a more healthy relationship that we see in Big Mouth between June and Nick. I know that show has a lot of people that go against it, that will burn it to the ground till the end of times. But yeah, I see the relationship as kind of being older brother and this younger brother, you know, just maybe a few years apart, but now both of them over their 20s.
Daddy Blackimus, where the newborn mercenaries come from?
Oh no! Oh, this is a good question.
Ah, what a good question, little
Yeah.
Jimmy. Everyone, gather around and sit down.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you a
sit.
tale of where mercenaries come from. This is Bob.
Boom!
Bob,
Hi,
everybody.
Bob.
Morning.
Bob is created because life. Bob gets greeted with a roster of 9
Insane lunatics.
Bob checks with each
Insane lunatics.
information and will then pick accordingly. Bob wants to be a heavy, so now Bob will pick his name and his home server.
You!
Bob wants to be called Bob, and his home server will be Portugal, because what would you honestly be expecting?
Let me hear that back.
Well, called Bob, and his home server will be Portugal, because what would you honestly be expecting?
You know, Blackmiss, I'll give it to you. Portugal is the way to be right now for your mercs. But we could have a server in Brazil. Just saying.
Bob finishes this process and will now spawn in a residential server.
Let me just say that wow, this kind of just way to create like life in the way that we're doing right now is just so cool. You know, just amazing, just incredible. You are brought to existence. You choose between 9 mercenaries or 9 other or any creature that you can select, and you choose a server that is Portugal. Amazing.
Bob spawns in a suburbia map. Bob is now ready to start his life.
I hope Bob does well.
Bada bada
You know, any episode I will have to just go ahead and ask, how's Bob doing? Is Bob doing okay, Blackmiss?
That,
Keep me
fellow
updated.
peoples, is how mercenaries are born. No questions.
No questions.
Oh, there will be
For
questions.
Vixen, what is your gender? Not trying to be rude or anything. Also, love your personality too. Keep it going.
I'm a female adult woman. Also, thank you. Thank you. I am a happy person and I do my best to spread it to the people around me. It worked for me. It worked for them.
How do you come up with the idea / plot of the Scratch Universe series? A very wild imagination and tons of inspirations from a lot of things. To hope.
You would do a great job as a D&D DM, Blackimus, I keep telling you.
I know this might be something you don't want to talk about, but I'm curious. What did you go through in Limbo?
Oh no.
Rogant. Cuida persiste in limbo.
Oh no.
Dolor. Detrimentum. Rejection. Prodetio. Cannibalismus.
Shit.
Magnum feciste. Tibel. Okay.
Heavy guy. Sandwich.
Yes.
Yes.
What is your favorite country? Portugal, sem qualquer tipo de preconceito, nada, absolutamente nada, nadinha.
No speaking Portuguese. But fine, I'll allow it for that one.
Will P-Rick ever return?
Yes.
I already answered this. How P-Rick's stand, Drop It, was a weaker version of Jotaro's stand, Star Platinum. I wouldn't say weaker, just balanced. About 3 characters I was curious about in my mind: Fixer, Heavy Guy, and Jumpsuit. Are you bringing up the lore stories in the next episode sometime? Fully fledged backstories? No. Tidbits of it? Definitely. I already have a lot to do, and the story needs to move forward. The only chance that a fully fledged backstory will happen is with side episodes. How difficult is SFM? Like anything when you first start, it's really difficult because it's new and you know nothing about it. After you gain experience with it, with whatever learning method, it's not difficult, but it takes a while. It is a commitment. Is it worse than Blender? Nah, Blender is a lot worse than SFM to me. I just want to say, what animation series takes long to make? Scratched Universe, hands down. Slice of Life might take a while, but it doesn't feel like that at all, because of how simplistic it is for me.
Yeah, Slice of Life is basically walking, a few general movements, maybe just a few special effects left and right depending on what the episode takes, and there you have it. The Scratch Universe is way more effort and way more custom things made, and the combat, if there's ever combat.
Will the commander have a stand?
Let him cook.
Will there be any custom-made characters joining the series? I fucking wish, man. Made characters joining the series?
Assuming you mean Nick models when you said custom-made characters.
Fucking wish, man. We saw the gentleman and CBS. Are they stand users like Fierce? Nah, not everyone's going to be a stand user. We have enough already.
Vixen, you said that mini arenas speak with accents similar to Slavic. When did you hear someone speaking with a Slavic accent?
YouTube.
Quite a few times on TV, in shows, in games, a lot of places, really.
You have to remember that these animatronics, when they're not working, they're just hanging around. So they have phones, they can mess with the internet, watch TV series. A person that never actually met anyone that, for example, is from a Slavic country could have listened to their language in a TV series, movie, animation.
How are you doing? Mir geht es gut. Danke. Have you ever
nice.
Had any errors while animating? If so, how was the experience solving them?
Oh no, here we go.
Me? Making errors in animation and somehow only noticing them after I've released them on YouTube? No way, man. My experience solving errors that I did notice, quickly enough, start off with one of these 3.
Blackimus reactions to errors. How the hell did I not notice this? Oh, for fuck's sake. Of course.
After that, I fix the issue, or band-aid them if the problem is more stubborn. I usually don't have trouble fixing errors, but there are some that I just don't care because it's SFM's outdated engine shenanigans or it's spaghetti code.
Oh yeah, it was Source Spaghetti, the name of the Lazy Purpose video, right?
Is it possible for Hoovy Duddy to be in the Scratch universe for at least one episode? Man, I really wish I could pay tribute to Spunky's Hoovy Duddy series. Like, cool. I really want to do it since I really enjoy watching the whole thing, and also because he actually watches TSU.
SFM when you want to use more than 8 lights with shadows enabled.
But the thing is, knowing how far in the story I am script-wise, fitting Hoovy Dundee in there wouldn't work. But as a completely separate episode, still in universe, I could. The only issue I see is me not doing a respectful and accurate homage to Hoovy Dundee's character and lore. Because if I were to add him, it'd have to be a reimagined or a reincarnation of the character and its lore in order to fit TSU's setting. And it's not easy. When making videos, do you do the post-processing effects in editing or in SFM? I do my post-processing in editing. How many hours in SFM and TF2? Hours don't mean anything to me, since you can farm them by just being AFK. Nonetheless, everyone has their learning curve in SFM. Mine was a bit quicker in that regard. Yeah, I've played TF2 mainly in chill trading servers and MVM for like 80% of my time. I don't care.
I miss my trading service day, just going around sniping people, being on the Mario Kart lane on Trade Plaza 2. Those were the days.
Care about the PvP. Opinion on Blender. Don't really have one since I don't use it for animation. Otherwise, it's a great frame-to-video rendering tool because that's what I use it for. TSU questions. How many episodes do you plan to make?
Ooh,
Top
nice.
maximum of 40 episodes. Are you the only person working on it? Everything, except voiceovers, is done just by myself. I don't like working with other people due to my experiences with it IRL. How many unusuals do you have? Just the only one that matters. The head taker. I don't care about unusuals. If anything, remove and replace them all with
new guns in the game instead.
Oh, it's cool to see that like his nose kind of became evil eye holes. Did you notice that?
TSU general question. How old is everyone roughly? I never really gave it thought since it's TF2, everyone is already 18 plus. It's the same thing with TSU. Age isn't that important in a TF2 series since everyone looks the same most of the time.
To smoke.
Yeah, I think that sometimes it's just we don't need them to actually know the parallels. For example, Vixen still acts like just over 18, you know, but to her and like Springtrap or little Plush Trap, Springtrap, they're giving people to take care of them like parents. So this kind of gives like the normal vibe that we have in real life. For example, I can totally understand that it would be kind of weird to see, for example, Ballora, that acting all adult like she does, dating someone like like a little Springtrap. You know, that would be weird. But having characters that have in-lore adoptive parents makes it everything more digestible for the viewer to understand the relationships that are in place. The same thing with the mercenaries in the Scratch universe. You know that they're all adults. You know the general like a vibe that each one has because of their loadout and everything, and by the way they act. For example, we know that Foster seems to be way older than Jumpsuit, at least mentally, and that's enough. The characters characterize themselves.
Look, how did you and Cinder meet? During a scrapping duty mission, I saw her and liked the mask she was wearing. She looked kinda cute. But I didn't tell her that until later. She said the first word since my archery got her interested. She wanted to know more about it. We did small talk, and then we did our mission. We did well together, so we stuck around for the entire operation. Did 4 missions back to back, together. The whole teamwork, it made us bond. After we won the whole operation, we added each other's contacts. And so, began our journey. What attracted you to her? Her look was cute, but I liked her personality more. Said a few words, but I knew
Yeah, in a world where kind of you can have thousands of people just kind of looking like each other, yeah, it's good to have a good personality.
she was getting curious and interested. Hey, so was I. She acted like a leader to our team, gave us advice,
So
told us what
Smoke
to
knows how to
do,
play the long
positioning,
game.
who to prioritize, etc. That whole leadership thing she did, I found it really hot.
Okay, Smokey,
What was
calm
the
down now.
conversation after your transformation? There's a lot to say here, but here's a rundown version. Cinder, I'm a
Oh, sorry. And by the way, nice.
woman now. That's hot. What? I love you even more now. Really? Yeah, get in bed.
To Blackimus,
Win-win
have you ever
situation,
considered doing
maybe?
something like
Question
a
mark?
fun and silly offshoot with the different casts? Like, say, character reactions to fan art and whatnot? Yep. I got so many good ideas, but that ties into my biggest main problem. I'm one guy, and I cannot work on everything at once. Else, nothing gets done. There's the crossover series I 100% want to do. Just pure mindless fun and interactions between the two cats in a dumb
Cats.
plot.
Now you're
Something
gonna
I've
make a series about
basically
cats, Blackimus.
always wanted to do ever since I was young. I cannot wait for that.
Okay, Vixen. Truth or dare? Truth. Tell us how you and Plushtrap met, started dating. Dare. I dare you to prank, jump scare, either Plushtrap or Springtrap.
Oh, here we go.
Just go with the dare, please. Even if it's not gonna work at all.
Yeah, see, I cannot really scare Plushtrap here because he's pretty much immune to me.
Much less my dad's.
Yeah. I can only scare him if I don't. I'm not. I can only scare him if I play dog barking noises on my chest speaker, which he absolutely hates. I did that once as a joke, and he actually got really upset over it. He didn't speak to me for hours. And I felt really bad. So, guess I'll have to go with the truth. Tell you how we met.
What? Again?
I gotta tell him.
Please don't.
Of course,
Why
it
not?
would be someone to want to replay the same story over and over again
okay.
when it's funny.
Okay.
At least to her.
Sorry.
Here's a couple
Hey, at least she could have told us how they started dating, like who truly gave the first step.
things that I gotta ask. Do you plan on making more long-form videos for your other series, as well as apart from TSU? I hope not. Episode 6 Part 2 is something I do not want to experience again. And
Hey, we got a little reference. Look at that. Look at that. It's already like the hat that soldier used on Capsters.
time soon. How many episodes of TSU do you plan on making? Top maximum 40? Would you consider making a crossover episode between Slice of Life and the Scratch Universe? Hell yeah, I would. And I will. That's a promise.
Nice.
I have big plans. Will we see that Dio spy ever again? I don't like leaving loose ends. What was the hardest part about making the stands for TSU characters, if any? The design. I cannot 3D model, and there isn't an insanely vast amount of cosmetics available, so the limitation on design is the hardest part of stand making. As a side note, this is more of a global issue that I have. It's not just, exclusive to stands. It's a big problem. Do you plan on ever making an episode around Jumpsuit's backstory in some way? Why he's muted, his time when he was a killer, stuff that has caught the interest of fans. As a side thing, yeah. Which of the stands that you've come up with is your favorite? My favorite is probably Switcheroo because of her attribute swap.
Honestly, I will, in my mind it was okay. It must be Smokes and Switcheroo, but for a moment I consider Jumpsuit. But yeah, I think that Smoke is just the character that Blackimus just puts the most of him into the character.
Her power can be really fun to write some cool things about. If you were to create a new series, what would it be?
Oh, here we
You'll
go.
know very soon.
Here we go.
If you'd make the Scratch universe into an actual video game, what would stay in it and what would be tossed out? I'd honestly keep things as it is, apart from a bunch which I would definitely throw away. Weapon skins, TF2 isn't CSGO, Tour of Duty tickets, pay to play is a sin, kill streaks, the entire thing, out of the game. The matchmaking system, TF2 isn't CSGO, quick play would be brought back. Create
Is the quick play like the little menu that you have showing up all the servers, official servers, so you can just get into them? Is that what you're referring? Because I also preferred that back in the day. It was just much simpler.
system. I'd rework it to be fair, rewarding, and not predatory. Unusuals. They serve no purpose. you would earn unusuals, scrap them to earn an unusual fire of the effect, and put it on the hat you want. Both items would also be earnable as rewards.
I don't really care about the PvP aspect of TF2. So if TSU ever got a game,
What would get the most love and attention would be the Scrapping Duty MVM and solo/co-op campaigns. I'm a PvE guy.
What series do you find more enjoyable to work on? Slice of Life or TSU? Both are enjoyable in their own ways. Slice of Life with its characters, interactions, and also how it's way easier to make new episodes. TSU with its story, universe, characters, great satisfaction from overcoming obstacles or the toughest parts of the scripts. Sol gives me an easy and relaxing time making something with no worry about being pressured or worried with the story, while I'm having fun making the little things that I enjoy about writing and animating. TSU gives me an incredible satisfaction when I finish making another beautiful episode for the main series of the channel with the story, world building, the in-universe exploration, and discovery of new characters, along with many other things. I love them both equally. What are some things that were left on the chopping block when it came to making them for your SFMs? That's a really good question, and to be quite honest, I don't remember a lot of it. Some were quick to be cut, others stayed in the script but were removed or ignored. Here's a few that I remember. TSU Episode 4. It got a segment cut. When everyone met up at the Backbone Gate, there was meant to be a wave defense section where everyone would be killing groups of Distorted, where at the end, the scout would show up as the last guy left. This was cut because it was not realistic at all and quite frankly, silly. An experimental rocket pod would not have enough space to store more than 10 Distorted or so. It'd be like a clown car. Slice of Life Episode...
I can understand that. Also, it kind of would add the factor that all of the present characters, they would have guns, which is a thing that they didn't have. So I cannot see truly effective, any effective way that they would deal with the infected without having the chance of being infected themselves. I think it's better the way it was, just show that amongst all the mercenaries, not all of them are fit or shouldn't try to just fight the infected. Most of them would not succeed. If not even the VAC team could actually do it, like for example in the corrupt server, I don't think a random group of mercenaries would do it. Better leave to the stand personnel.
5. The last scene was meant to be a bit longer, with Plushtrap doing a little bit more flirting towards Vixen, who would start to be a bit more embarrassed as the flirts got a bit more raw and unhinged. I cut it because it felt unnecessary and a little bit awkward. TSU Episode 6 was originally meant to be a murder mystery instead of being what it is now. Heavy Guy and Kia would be trying to investigate and find out if it was a stand user or a Distorted amongst the train. The main person trying to unravel the mystery was the VAC Heavy in charge of the checkpoint.
Interesting.
Smoke was also there, with barely any changes whatsoever. She'd know something was wrong, join up with Heavy Guy and Kia to find out about the murder.
I prefer the way that
but this was all
Blackimus directed.
completely cut and replaced with the beauty we have today.
I agree.
Honestly,
I think that this
I don't
better.
even know what was going through my head when I made that. I probably still had that old mindset about TSU. Also in Episode 6, the emotional part with the passengers was not meant to happen at all. Initially, Heavy Guy would realize the stakes after he failed to protect Smoke after getting shot in the head by the arrow. She would still be alive, and she would still do the quick heal arrow swap. But Heavy Guy would be the one who'd kill the sniper while incredibly angry. Red mode. After this, Heavy Guy would then swiftly and painlessly kill the Distorted passengers after they escaped the backbone. The rest would go as normal. This is...
I think this before Blackimus can continue, I think that the passengers were a great addition just because like later I discovered that going backwards into the scout say, he says, "You bastard left us to die." His Distorted version say that, and that just adds a great emotional weight. Because if everything goes as it was expected to go, everyone was supposed to die. And just later, Kia and Heavy realized that indeed they left them behind, and Smoke would die too. Smoke would not be alive if she did not want to go with them. So it's sad. They have their own missions to follow up, so they cannot protect everyone. But damn, still, it must be a terrible guilt to just know that you left people behind and people that maybe you could have saved. Well, there goes Kia's traumatic disorder, trauma, as well as a jumpsuit. No, not jumpsuit. Sorry, fixer.
That's all I'll say for now. Do you like buttered toast?
Yeah, it's good.
Feeling hungry,
Questions for
Blackimus?
TSU. How did you come up with this series? What pushed you to make it? My very wild imagination and tons of media inspirations. And what pushed me to make it was gathering a lot of courage and motivation to finally make a project from beginning to end on something that was initially very simple to make at the time. Are you happy from this series? Of course, I am incredibly happy with both TSU and Sol. Do you think the views are high or low? Hey, I'm happy I'm getting views at all from the hard work I put into anything I do. Things take time, effort, and a lot of patience.
Although I would appreciate more views.
Do you like your channel's progress?
Nice.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I'm happy I'm getting any subs at all from my work.
Although more would be better for how much I sacrifice for this channel.
Are you gonna make another series? Or just finish what you are doing and change what you want to create? I have plans. Nothing is getting changed or finished until their rightful ending happens. Except for Slice of Life. That really doesn't have an ending.
Ooh.
Is it only you who makes all of this stuff? If yes, will you try to invite someone to create animations with you? Yes, I am the only guy doing this, and I will most likely stay this way. I already said my take on teams or collaborations in previous questions. Technical question. What kind of computer did you use? And what is its specs? Can't really say a lot here,
I'm terrible with
except
computer specs.
don't use a weak laptop for something like SFM.
Yeah,
I haven't
wax
used it on a
laptops are not good
laptop,
for that.
but all the experiences I've heard about it IRL have all been negative. As for specs, any average computer nowadays should run SFM no problem at all since it's so old. Will we get any full fight scenes for the enemy party and or the VAC team at one point in TSU? Probably.
Yep, I
Have you
imagine
watched
that
the
we
Five
will.
Nights at Freddy's movie? I did not see the movie, no.
Me too.
And even if I did, it would not affect SOL in any way because the AU itself does not take anything from the games after sister location. Some of security breaches elements will probably be the only
Wait,
exception.
let me go back to that.
Some
Slice of Life wouldn't get influenced by anything FNAF 1 related because in Underworld, FNAF 1's already over and taken care at this point.
of security breaches elements will probably be the only exception. If the Scratch universe has some stand users, does that mean there are Hamon users as well? Hamon is currently not a thing, but it might happen in the future. Who
That
knows?
must be a JoJo
To the
thing.
VAC,
Wait,
not a
what was
thing,
that?
but it might happen in the future. Who knows? To the VAC, how did you know about the stand users in the first place? Is it through research articles, or do you have an informant, aside from Bravo to begin with? There's a lot the public doesn't know about the VAC, and hopefully it'll stay that way. Trade secret. Question for Jumpsuit. Did you feel offended while Turge was exclaiming his experience from the Badlands?
Just the way it is.
Are all stand users able to obtain the same power Heavy Guy gained? Or is it just himself? Just Heavy Guy. How did you improve the speech for each character? If you're talking about episode 6, I found better voice AI for most characters, and then people like Heavy Guy got an actual voice actor to perform. Before Smoke got, well, sniped, what was going on with that sniper in the first place? The sniper was regenerating himself since he got hit with a vile explosion. He survived it, but was clearly not intact. When Spring had a small chat with the mini Renas. Is that how the Renas view Spring through his physical appearance? And is that all they see? The mini Renas see things differently since they are from Limbo. They see the normal Springtrap, but along with Limbo's influences on
Is that
them,
why
since they are
Ballora
quite a
keeps her eye
phenomenon.
closed all the
This
time?
makes them scared, cautious, or obedient, because they essentially see how they truly are after everything they went through. The mini-arenas react in these ways out of respect, but someone like Intel, who is more familiar with the animatronics, since she's more open to reach out to them, doesn't necessarily feel afraid until Springtrap does something like that. William was doing that since he's more of a direct speaker, which has rubbed off on his parenthood. He used this method to make sure the mini-arenas got the picture across with the sinister look. William knows the mini-arenas respect him and Barry, so he's just reminding them to not push their luck. Wendy's reaction after eavesdropping on Vixen and Pluto was his reaction regarding the
Just a second. Let me see in the chat. Thank you, Dasuri, for subscribing. Hope you're having a good day.
fact that they were dating in secret.
Hajime asks, am I still streaming? Yeah, this is a very long video, and I'm staying till the end so I can then just take the video and post it on YouTube, maybe tomorrow, if everything goes well. But yes, Hajime, this is a different stream. This is just me reading all of this because this is a 2-hour video, and I would just like to be able to get it without just recording and having problems. I think that if I do this live, I think that it will be easier for me, and also would allow you guys to come and talk to me, and so we could debate things. But yeah, I'm still going. And yeah, let's continue.
Or something else regarding Mangle. Dating in secret. Wendy's redemption form is apparently able to talk to him during Frozen.
Wait, so that question, let me go back to that.
Regarding the fact that they were dating on Vixen and Pluto. Was his reaction regarding the fact that they were dating in secret?
Oh, they were dating in
or
secret.
something else regarding Mangle. Dating in secret. Wendy's redemption form is apparently able to talk to him during Frozen time, and Wendy is able to reset things to a degree. The hidden text even says, "You never learn," as if he had done this often. I assumed it was because he also had a limbo entity within him, but we never see that in the following episodes. So what's Wendy's deal, really? Wendy's whole redemption process was completely different from the norm. The entity within Wendy is still technically alive because of how powerful it really is. However, only Wendy can see it, since it is also technically dead. It's in a state of
Hey guys, just a moment.
limbo.
I apologize for the little pause. Let me just take the timestamp over here. Okay, so let's continue.
It is a topic that I haven't really explored because I honestly haven't really made a lot of redemption 4 moments, and because I'm not 100% alright with the entity's voice, I feel like I can improve it. So I don't want to do it just yet. I gotta be sure first. Regarding Mangle, Plushtrap apparently had the hots for her at some point? More
didn't remember
generally,
that.
Pluto said he was more of a negative person in general, with a lot of anger and jealousy and whatnot. Is that still part of his backstory? And if so, will we get a peek at those moments? Still part of his backstory, yes. It is a reference to his growth along the AU. The peeks you'll get is when he's talking about how he was in the past. Because I doubt flashbacks will happen. But what do I know? Will we get an episode that delves more into the guards and their stories? How they got these jobs, their reaction to seeing sentient animatronics, all of that.
That'd be cool.
What made Henry and Lawrence trust them? I could, but that's more of a technical problem than a lack of personal interest to do it.
How so?
I do want to do it. I do want to explore that, but getting unique voices for each
makes
human
sense.
character is going to be very difficult.
Makes sense.
The human models I use for the guards are good, but they have problems. really annoying problems.
Physics?
So it's why I'm hands off right now until I'm certain I really want to do it, after I've slowly started to have them show up more. I have plans, don't worry. 2 questions for Vixen. What is your favorite game?
Minecraft.
Nice.
It's true.
And the truth sucks.
Shush.
Shush, balloon
Also,
boy.
what is
No
your
diss in
favorite thing to
Minecraft.
do?
Honestly, socializing. Just hanging out with the
Let me
people.
go back.
Also, what is your favorite thing to do?
Honestly, socializing.
Weird, dude.
Just hanging out with
To
the
think
people
about how
here.
they would get
It's
around
fun, entertaining, relaxing, reassuring, romantic. You know, just an overall good time for everybody.
Too heavy guy. Why do you use your minigun in some fights but refuse to use it in a true life or death situation, such as a fight with the Bruiser?
It wouldn't be
I
so
don't
much
know.
cinematic.
Why doesn't Kia use his rocket launcher? Why doesn't Smoke just suck it up and use a flamethrower to turn the distorter into a joke? Why don't the aliens just blow the planet already? We don't know! The logic in this universe, Kia, Smoke, and I call home, is scratched!
Nice
Question
one,
for
Kia.
Blackimus.
Guys,
How much
sorry,
more
nice
rare
one, guy.
variants are on your future list?
A lot.
Nice.
Our potential is endless.
Nice.
Question for Foster. Can you explain the badges on the VAC units and what their purpose is?
The badges are a unique ID for each person affiliated with the VAC. Security and military personnel have different badges. My badge is a military one, and it's golden because of my level. The military rankings are split into tiers with this badge. Mine is golden. I am a level 5, which is the maximum rank possible. Only 9 people can have the L5 rank. 1 of each mercenary class.
Ah, one of each mercenary class. Did add so much cool depth into it. Like they would truly have one of each. Nice.
Military badges represent what the VAC stands for. The 3 stars for the VAC's logo represent our collective vow for the 3 commandments: law, order, justice.
Nice.
And yeah, that's all that I can tell you on a semi-superficial
Actually,
level.
very cool, Blackman. Nice.
Will there be more distorted monsters like the Bulwark later on in TSU?
Yes.
But hopefully not technical nightmares like the Bulwark.
I knew it. I knew it. I was about to mention that this was just something of a confirmation, but also a cry of pain for Blackness to animate.
I heard Gray Man was mentioned in part 1 of episode 6.
Oh, it wasn't
Will
part
he
1.
be making an appearance in the series? Very likely that he won't. I want to focus on original characters having a spotlight.
Vixen and Pluto. If you were a Pokemon, what would you be?
Oh, and we get like the little Pokemon hat for Soldier on the left. Does that change?
Vixen and Pluto.
Does that change out of
If
nowhere?
you were a Pokemon,
Yes, it did change. So we're getting just a slightly sneaky peek references.
what would you be? Well, I think I'll start here. So, okay, this is gonna be a big list. Ninetales, Delphox, Zoroark, if I'm feeling gothic, Espion, Gardevoir, of course, right? No Coffee Tail? Surprisingly, not a fan. Sylveon, Frostlass.
Okay, Vixen more of a Sylveon.
Yeah, cute and deadly. I like that combo.
Is it?
Hatterene, Sneasler, and Beware. Okay, the other 3, I understand.
Yeah, like the last one, that one, the big one, the big like a plushable one. This one is the one that seems more like Vixen's personality. All the previous ones just seem too much edgy for Vixen's style.
But Sneasler? What? Sneasler just looked like it came out of bed ready to punch somebody in the face. Well, yeah, I guess that's you sometimes.
What about you?
Here's 2 you would probably not expect. Lurantis and Pheromosa. Really? 2 bug types.
I know Lorenz is a bug, is a bug, nor a bug itself. Isn't a bug nor a bug itself.
Pheromosa looks absolutely fabulous.
And Lorantis looks so adorable. The colors on her and the really cute pants.
No,
They're
I
the
think
only
that,
two bug types I like.
Definitely.
I think that there's just three things that kind of make Vixen choose a Pokemon for this situation. It has to look cute, it has to look cool, or it has to look hot. I will not get into it, but this is just my line of thought of how Vixen just chooses a Pokemon.
Definitely controversial, knowing your hate for bugs.
Yep.
Wait, let's go back to this.
Definitely controversial, knowing your hate for bugs.
Yep.
Wouldn't hate this anyway because it ain't a bug.
And lastly, Meowscarada.
Good lord.
That's all I got for now. What about you?
Well, me and Beth have a ghost bias, so expect a lot of those.
Makes sense.
Charizard,
Nice.
Mewtwo,
Nice.
Weavile, Tyranitar, Sableye.
Sableye would fit you to a T. Both of you are gremlins.
Shut up.
Short stacks.
Aggron,
Nice.
Sharpedo, Bayonet, Dusknoir, Glalie, Metagross, Registeel, Deoxys, Spiritomb,
Damn, a lot of
Blitzker,
Pokemons.
Frostlass, Giratina, Darkrai.
Now I can see why you want to make like a Pokemon series of the Scratch universe. You really like Pokemon, Blackimus.
Scraggy for some reason. We don't know why. Cofagrigus, Aselgar, Zuelis, or Hydreigon. Zuelis
Nice.
for relatability, and Hydreigon for being really cool. Greninja, Aegislash,
Damn, there's a lot of
Malamar,
Pokemons.
Trevenant, Decidueye, Salazzle.
Excuse you?
I knew it. As soon as I saw the Salazzle, I know the memes around Salazzle, so be careful with that.
Salazzle?
What? I love the colors and the fierce look.
Uh-huh.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Salazzle,
It makes
knowing
sense.
it's only a female.
It's a lizard, man. It's gross.
I gotta give it to it. Like considering the memes around behind the why people choose Salazzle, I'm truly surprised that it was not Vixen who chose it, and the little Springtrap did.
Cinderace, you don't know why, but Vixen knows why. And I'm not gonna explain why.
She's his Pokewaifu.
Shut up! Why would you?
What? I picked Gardevoir because I find her really hot. What's the problem?
I knew it.
Moving on.
I told you guys that she would pick a few of the Pokemon because she's attracted to them.
Palossand, absolutely funny Ghostmon for
This
me.
is so weird.
Eternatus, Mouscarada, Ceruledge, and that's all.
You forgot someone.
Oh.
Huh?
You forgot someone you really, really like.
I did?
Yeah.
Go on.
Starts with an L, ends with Y.
I don't think I can guess it.
You have Cinderace and
okay.
Lopunny.
Okay, question's over.
Innard, is Jimbo still in there? He wouldn't happen to have any memories on what happened after being separated from Baby and BB, would he?
I'm still here.
Jesus. Just went from like a funny to depressing in a matter of a snap.
Being separated. The experiments those did on me. Our new consciousness. Our voices. Our struggles. Our pain. We would wish to forget everything, like everyone else did. However, in our darkness, wisps linger. Faint lights to guide us to an exit, a path, new beginnings, change. We are curious and afraid.
Molly, are you sentient? Give us a sign, if you actually are.
Oh, I think you.
Request completed.
I think you skipped a question, Blackmas.
Give us.
Dibel Hope on a scale 1 to 10, how bad was your home village? You don't have to describe it to us. Just feel comfortable. Okay, maybe he skipped it because of the you don't need to describe if you don't feel comfortable talking about it.
It's a sign.
Okay.
If you actually
Request completed.
Yulia, are you and Blushtrap cousins or friends of different species? We are not related by blood. We are simply friends from different species.
Makes sense.
Pate Dibel, quod una surorum tuarum tibi placet. Surorum iarum omnium placet et
You
cura.
understand that in Latin, nice.
Agnosco constitutionem scribere questionem latine. Benigno sacere.
Wendy and Springtrap. Which one of you two is stronger?
Well,
I think that's a topic for debate.
We are equal through different methods.
Well, you're not wrong. I guess that works too.
To Damocles, do you see the future? No, I cannot see the future. Such an ability would yield an unfathomable burden. Personally, it is a relief.
So, how did you get comfortable voicing Vixen?
Okay, this is something I have to say before we get into this. Just every time that Vixen just does a funny voice or just does one of the, like I would say her more like funny gestures, I always imagined like Blackimus is doing so. Like there are just so many moments where I'm just listening to Vixen speaking to this Leslie Black and they just start to laugh saying, Blackimus, I can just imagine you doing that alone in your room, and it just breaks me every time.
She's female, and let's be honest here, a lot of guys would get really uncomfortable with voicing a female, especially one with the personality of Vixen. Yet you do it so well and so passionately. You're true to the character. What allows you to do her successfully? And do you feel awkward at times for saying certain lines? P.S. When you said "nya" in one of the bloopers, I died of laughter and then felt immensely cringe after. I got completely comfortable through experience. This initially wasn't the case when I did episode 1 back in 2017. When I started properly in 2020 with episode 2, I was already all in.
Wait, so you 3 years to make episode 1 and 2?
Completely into it. Now she's one of my personal favorites because of how fun she is to perform. Her personality is just so much fun for me. I mean, sure, I felt cringe when I started voicing her, but now I honestly don't give a crap about it. I enjoy voicing everything that involves her now. A lot of people love her too, so that helps a lot. Question for Cinder. Do you know about Smoke's body transformation? And how did you cope with it all? By the way, such a happy couple.
Yeah, she's more attractive.
By the way, such a happy couple.
You kind of scared me for a second with the first time. But this creature is actually seen to the Cappers trailer. Nice.
Do I know about her body transformation? Of course I do. I met her when she was a man who had a voice with so much gravel you could fill an entire road with it. But man, looking back at it now after so long, it was a really funny story. So we did scrapping duty, ended up winning, and hung out with the 2 gremlins that I have. We were just chilling for a while before we all went to our homes when it got
so
close
we're
to
getting
evening.
a backstory on
So
this.
we said goodbye, left, and that was pretty much it. I went to bed and was asleep for a while, like a few hours, and I got a call at like 3 in the freaking morning. I quickly got up because I thought it was a bad situation, you know? Nobody ever calls me that late. So I get up, I pick up the phone, and I saw it was Smoke. As soon as I answered the phone, I couldn't even mutter a single word before Smoke was already panicking on me, going all, Cinder, something happened to me! Cinder, I'm different! I'm a woman now! I'm not joking! I got this pyro that...
For a moment I thought it was still on the introduction story, but this just makes it even more funnier. Just imagine getting a call from your special order and just, I am a woman now! I have the body part of a woman, I have a woman's body!
Got into my house and is following me around. It's like a ghost, you gotta help me. After all that nonsense, I was just so tired, I didn't even bother trying to make sense of it all. I just told her, are you hurt? Do you need to go to a hospital? And she answered me with, no, I'm not hurt, I'm not sick, but this could be a problem. So I say calmly, I'll be right there, and got dressed. I grabbed the keys to my car, I hauled ass to her apartment. I knock on the door, and the door opens by itself. So I was just thinking, this has to be a prank. Door opening by itself, nobody in sight. It's clear as day. Or night in this case. But then Smoke told me, get away from the door, she opened it. In a voice that honestly triggered my fight or flight. I pulled out my shotgun and went inside. I looked around, peeked, checked every corner. Nobody. I told her I saw nobody.
It's interesting to think that maybe every mercenary in the Scratch universe, or every character has maybe a carrying permit, you know?
And Smoke just tells me she's right next to me. I turned my head to where she's pointed at and saw nobody. From here on out, things were a mess to make sense of, so I'm just gonna skip a bunch of it. A while later, I sat on her bed watching her walk around the room back and forth, panicking and pacing, just a little bit less. Worried about everyone's reaction, worried about being banned, worried about everything. I'm just looking at her quietly. I honestly was just enjoying her new look. Like, she looked like a hell of a snack. She looked really good. Smoke stopped.
Goddamn Cinder. Like, your boyfriend was having a panic attack because he was gender bending. You were like, that's hot.
Turns to me and asks me if I can still love her now that she's a woman. And I just say, fuck yeah, I do. No shot. She was just confused and happy at the same time. She told me, how? What do you like about the look? And I just say, everything. You're a treat to look at from top to bottom. Smoke had her mask on, but I could tell she was pretty flustered. Honestly, I was too. I already loved the guy, but seeing him like that, it awoke new things in me, I think. She calmed down a lot.
I can definitely say that for what I've seen across my life, there's a kind of a different treatment between like in this situation, a top woman to a bottom guy, or at least Smoke always seemed like a bottom, compared to a top woman to a bottom woman. Just it's a different relationship entirely.
After that, looked at the bedroom window. Lo and behold, I see her butt. I stammered in my words and just said it out loud. Oh my god. Smoke turns around and asks me what's up. I, with my hands over my gas mask's mouth, in complete awe at the beautiful sight, just tell her a few words under my breath. Your ass. It's so good. Smoke walks to a corner of the room, looks in the mirror, turns around and says, oh my god. There's a bit of silence during that realization, and we said nothing. But then she stopped admiring it, looked at me, and told me quietly, you're right. And the rest is history.
I think that what you mean, the rest is not a PG-13 history. So we'll leave it at that.
Oh, so many questions already. Well, if you found this, rip your eyes, because I've got some more to add.
Ooh.
Way ahead of you.
And that's a reference to the labyrinth. I forgot the name in English, but in Portuguese, the Labyrinth do Fauno, right? But I see the reference.
How old are the mini-arenas? And are they quadruplets, since they look so similar? Also, can the sunlight actually kill them, or just weaken them? Intel, Charity, and Serenity are 18, and Hope's 19. They are not from the same family. They all came from different parts of Limbo. In their true forms, they are similar, but have some differences. Like some being taller, or others having claws.
Oh, I did not
and
notice
teeth.
that some being...
Sunlight will weaken them at first,
Limbo.
making them feel tired and frail. After a long while of exposure, it'll start to kill them. Higher temperatures make this worse, obviously.
Makes sense.
How tall is each Sol animatronic that has been shown so far? Possible drawing references. Yeah, nah. You're not getting that from me. That's gonna be a really long answer if I did say everyone's height. Also, I don't have drawing skills, so...
I think that everyone would just be their normal animatronic height, right?
On average, animatronics are taller than the average person, which is like 1.60 meters or so.
Yeah.
And before some of you say, "Whoa, bro, 1.60 is really short," to me, that's the average height of where I live. Or at least was around the average. I know some friends of mine nowadays that are quite younger than me and are quite taller than normal. Anyways, back to the topic. Vixen and Baby are examples of short animatronics. Vixen is as tall as a normal person would be, but Baby has the height of a short person. The average animatronic's height basically sort of towers over people. Innard is the tallest, with Bonnie and Ballora behind them. While Bonbon is technically the shortest, Sprinkles is my definite shortest one, with the Minirinas and Plushtrap following up. Sprinkles is Chica's cupcake. I still have to introduce him. He cannot speak, but can look around and express himself with his eyelids. People will love him, I'm sure of it. Does Springtrap have a rotten corpse inside him?
Ugh.
Yes, obviously. If so, do the others know about it? Or what happened?
A few of them must.
Yes, everyone knows what happened.
Oh, everyone.
What's your opinion about the FNAF movie? Did you like it? What didn't you like?
You didn't watch it?
I haven't seen it. If you know about the MBTI, what's your personality type? I don't know what that is.
MBTI. Wait. Let me see. MBTI. Oh, I know this test. I've taken it in the past. Cool. And just for a second. Just checking if the stream's doing okay. Let's continue.
The question to the Plushtrap is how to be an adult in age and small in size.
He's a short king.
Be born in a country not known for having tall people, or be a dwarf. My little rock and stone.
That's what she said.
Question for Ballora. What do you think of Springtrap so far? They are good people who have gone through so much pain. I can relate to this. I understand their struggles. By the way, William, you don't have to hide yourself on the internet to ask me this question. You can just ask me directly. I do not bite. Or do I?
Laura, come on.
I'm just playing.
For Toy
Didn't know
Chica
Ballora had a
and
thing
Balloon
for
Boy,
Springtrap.
when did you guys start to have feelings for each other?
It started in 2013.
Yeah, it was a really slow start. We initially hated each other. Fun fact.
I think that a lot of couples
She was
do,
too
right?
valet girl. And I really didn't have the patience to deal with that
Wait,
crap.
what is a
The
valet
time I got transferred to Fazbear Entertainment
What is
was a really rough time for me.
girl?
And I didn't really get along with everyone.
A valet girl is a fashionable and affluent teenage girl from Valley in Southern California. Let's see. Maybe I'll have to Google more, but it's more of a what? Can you guys tell me what is a valley girl?
But that got fixed with time.
I started to be less girly, immature, loud, and annoying. We chatted on some occasions. When he started to get more attached to us, BB started to show that fun side of him with his jokes, his matured personality. I grew interest.
Even though we hated each other way back, I actually had a bit of a soft spot for her because of her looks.
Yeah,
She's cute and hot.
I show
Just
Speed
the looks
also
by
likes
themselves didn't do much for me since her personality was just awful to be around. So with this change she slowly went through, I grew to like her more and more to the point where we are here now.
As partners.
Both ways too. Work and romance.
For Wendy, what job do you do at Freddy Fazbear's?
I do work as an entertainer in the Funtime Corner and during events such as theatrical plays, storytelling, chit-chatting with people, all on stage. The best part of it all are my magic shows. Since I can stop time, I can perform as a magician, which is why my public name is now Wendy the Amazing.
That's kind of
The
cool.
shows are sold out very quickly because of what I can do, which is, well, magic. I am also the main mascot of the Halloween Haunted Pizzeria attraction we have every year. During that time, I am in my redemption form, my transformation. I take people in and guide them around the place while scary things happen. Spring is also a main attraction here, since it's the only time his presence would make sense. I love Halloween because of this. Everyone has a different look and a job to do related to the haunted
Must be
house.
very cool to work
Like
something like
Marionette, where he possesses the skeletons and scares people with them very well. Vixen plays as an emotional support guardian slash pet slash mascot.
It just seems like
for
something she
scared
would
people.
do. Just
Chica
seems something
plays as
she
a
would
silent
do.
ghost to jump on people, and she does that
This is so cool.
very
This
well.
universe is growing so much.
Plus Trap and his dad play as the evildoers of the place. Balloon Boy plays as a serial killer. Bon as a friendly social ghost on the reception.
That's so cool.
Ballora as a spider creep slash gothic vampire that gets all the teenagers' attention, boys and girls alike, and so much more.
That's
so
nice.
much more.
That's so nice.
It's a lot of good fun, and probably the best time of the year for me, personally.
Cool.
This right here is an extremely important question for
Ooh.
anyone who's an animator
Let's go then.
or anything in between. How do you avoid burnout? Everyone has their ways to avoid burnout, so I speak from my own experience.
Yeah, just everyone has their own way to deal with burnout and the other things. So don't take too much from you. Don't compare yourself too much.
And methods, knowing how I function as a whole. Take what you find useful out of what I'm about to say. In order to avoid burnout, I do the following. I don't overwork myself, I diversify what I make, I take my time, and most important of all, I have fun making my things.
Cool.
Now in detail, from the beginning. I don't overwork myself, which means I don't spend entire days working on a video, spaced out or non-stop. I work as much as I want to each day, so there are some days where I work more than others. If I'm not feeling productive for the day, I do what I know I can. Now, you need to know your limits to this because if you slack off, you will procrastinate, so watch yourself. I diversify what I make. This is a big factor for me that people don't seem to realize. If I just make TSU all the time, I'm going to get sick of it. And when I get sick of it, I get burned out. And if I get burned out, you get nothing from me for a really, really long time. So, diversifying what I make is absolutely necessary to keep myself in check and to keep my mental health up. I
think that one of the way that I used to do is that I would have two works, like Blackimus has TSU and the SL, and I would work on something, get tired of doing this, and then switch to the other thing. So I would keep it being to this infinite circle. This helps.
Take my time. Do not fall into pressure. Try not to feel pressured at all, and do not rush your things out the door. Rushing is never a good idea. Cutting corners
Unless
is fine
in
if
CSGO.
you are certain it will only bring good things as a result. I personally cut corners when I'm doing certain things in my videos, and it's never caused a loss in quality, pacing, or whatever else fits the bill. The people that enjoy you and your work will understand, respect, support, and patiently wait for the release of your work. Learn to appreciate these people. Arguably, one of the most important pieces of advice I can give you is to have fun making anything. If you don't enjoy yourself, everything and anything will suffer from that, including you and your videos. This one is self-explanatory. When you open SFM for the first time, which settings should you be aware of if you want to make a good-looking SFM movie? There's way too much I can suggest here, but if you want good quality in terms of visual fidelity, I'd suggest rendering in 1080p with at least 128 depth of field samples. With ambient occlusion, modified through camera settings, avoid using motion blur unless you're doing really fast-paced scenes, and learn how to do lighting. Most important of all, get used to rendering the entire thing as an image sequence. The amount of control you get and how much it saves you from going nuclear because of corruptions, glitches, SFM being SFM is absolutely insane. Everyone should be rendering their work as image sequences and then combine the frames together in a program like Blender.
Okay, now that Blackimus is explaining this about getting everything to pictures and then getting everything back together, I remember because I asked the question about how he did his videos in the maybe second or first Q&A, and I just remember that he explained and showed me the process while responding to the Q&A. That's cool.
Which is what I use. I talk about this in the previous Q&As in more detail.
We're almost close to the end. Wow.
And now, before we head into the final question, we can transition to the next part of the video, rapid fire questions.
A bit low for me.
Why? So we can reach 100. A lot of people have asked the same questions like 50 times or so. Questions repeated so often, most of which make me want to... But not all of them are repeated questions.
Let's go back to this.
Most of which make me want to... But not all of them are repeated questions. So now, it is my absolute pleasure to answer them all with a very special guest. Teddy!
Teddy?
Alright, let's do this.
Hi, Teddy.
Rapid firing commences now. Will P. Rick return?
Heck yes!
Nice.
Asked at least 20 times. Will the spy from episode 2 return?
Yeah!
Asked at least 6 times. Will the Acolyte return?
Episode 7.
Asked at least 9 times. When is a new episode of TSU/Soul/whatever coming out?
When it's done. Good things take time to make. Unless you want rushed videos with all sense of originality and development thrown out the window. It's also been 3 years since the channel started, so you should realize by now how the schedules work and how long you have to wait on average, because the channel is run by a single guy. Ungrateful idiots.
Said in a million shapes and forms, asked way too many times. I'm not counting that crap. Million shapes and forms.
But yeah, this one really felt way personal, but I understand.
Ungrateful idiots.
Said in a million shapes and forms, asked way too many times. I'm not counting that crap. What are the aliens called that made the distortion?
Spoilers.
Which series do you prioritize on more?
None. You had 3 years to look at the upload schedule.
Do you plan on getting more voice actors?
More voice actors means more work. Different time zones is really annoying.
Are you going to hire a team to make more content?
No.
Are Fixer and Jumpsuit gonna meet/join-up/fight? What have you guys team?
Do you want to know the ending too while you're at it?
Damn, Teddy is a great one.
Way too many times. Seriously, why do you think I should answer this? It's not like I have a story to tell here or anything, right?
Right.
And now for the final question. Aside from Slice of Life and TSU, are there other projects you've had on your mind for a while now? Yes, I do. This last year has been my slowest year yet. Saul's episode 6 and TSU's episode 6
but
part
the
2
greatest episode so far
is all I have made in 2023. Culture Shock took 4 months. Smoke and Mirrors part 2 took 6. Ever since I started episode 6 part 2, I quickly realized that this was not what I wanted to do on my channel for the rest of my days.
But let's pay close attention that you had many technical problems between episode 6 part 1 and episode 6 part 2. This is important to take into consideration. You are doing great work, Blackimus. You should give yourself more credit.
Taking 6 months for one video is not something I'm willing to go through again. I have so much So much I want to show you. And so many good things to make. I am but a single guy doing all of this. So I made a choice for the sake of my mental health. 2 new projects will now join the list of what I make. Nothing is getting removed, cut, put on a hiatus, whatever. Everything will remain as it is, just with 2 new things added to that list. So, let's talk about them. The first one is Bites of Life.
Ooh.
It's pretty much slice of life videos, but shorter, hence the name Bites.
I think that I have already seen the result of this, sadly. I think that Blackimus attempted to do a video of that, but by the way that it performed, I think that Blackimus just decided to convert it into to be the Slice of Life episode 7 and would scrap it just because of how the algorithm treated, if I remember correctly. Sadly.
Slice of Life's main episodes are often quite big, so without taking away that big episode, big adventure, big joy feeling, I've decided to make Bites of Life to fulfill that extra content on my alternate universe. Bites of Life are basically Soul Episode 2 videos.
But it's still cool to see that
shorter
Blackimus
videos
just took
with a simple tiny plot. They can still have lore, world building, and all things that relate to that. Bites are very easy to get ideas and make episodes of. I already have 3 bites to make. The second project, this is the one that I'm most excited to show you about. This is going to be a side series within the Scratch universe. It's all in the same universe, just in a different world, with many new things to discover.
I've already seen the trailer, but
is
still.
going to be called
Nice.
Capsters.
Oh, Capsters.
There's a reason why it's called that. You'll know it once I make the first episode. Capsters is going to be more lighthearted, less
Side series of the world, less serious, simple plot, focus on characters, hopefully shorter videos.
serious, and more comical. A completely different side of the world of TSU. Episodes are going to be at tops 15 minutes long. Story is not a focus on this series. It's more on the world and the characters themselves. The idea of these 2 side projects is to give you more things to watch between big releases I make, Slice of Life or TSU, while I don't go insane just making big videos by not spending nearly as much time and effort to make one of these 2, Bites and Capsters. Obviously, the scheduling with these 2 new series is a bit more loose. If I make a new episode of Saul or TSU and I don't feel like doing another big video just yet, I'll make one of each of these, a Bite and a Capster episode. But chances are I'm gonna make them regardless because I love to make easier things that will hopefully still be enjoyed by many people, old and new fans. So here's a rough little graph of the new upload schedule.
TSU, Bites, Capsters, Slice of Life, Capster, Bites. Okay.
Okay, if you've stuck around for God knows how long this video is,
At least my video will be at least over 2 hours and 40 minutes.
thank you so much for spending your time here. I already know these videos barely get any attention, which is why I honestly enjoy making
there's
these.
still the
It feels more
the
personal,
fun art, okay.
in a good way. And I can throw you some sneak peeks and surprises along the way
10
since
minutes.
nobody watches these. As a way to thank you for enjoying Blackimus, enjoying whatever I make. And now, probably the segment you have all been waiting for, myself included, the incredible fan art showcase from dozens and dozens of talented and passionate people who have enjoyed my work to the point of spending their personal time making art for me as a way to thank me for helping them in their lives, for enjoying certain characters, or just simply for making the show in the first place. Please support all of these artists if you can. They all deserve it. Ladies
A few
Gentlemen,
things to know. I may have missed some fun art, so apologies in advance. Artists might have several names. You might want to pause to see each picture because there is approximately
everyone else in
200 of
between,
them. Jesus.
the fan art showcase.
Let's do it. I will not pause. You know, I'll use this time to comment before the video ends. I think that this video, which will most likely be close to 3 hours, I think it was honestly worth it. I hope that Blackimus doesn't mind if I remember. I hope that I'm not gaslighting myself, but I think I remember asking if it was okay for me to do it in a live stream method, because I've done streams of Blackimus videos in the past just to rewatch them. So this is the first time that I actually do a stream to watch it first-handed. And I think it was nice. You know, this sort of video for most that are in my channel may not be the most attractive one, but I think that is just the best way for me to have just a way to confirm that everything is being recorded correctly. I can listen to the video on the side while I'm listening to this video. I mute myself quickly and I start to listen to the video on my phone. And it's just a small reassurance that everything is okay. But honestly, I think that this video just expanded so much, you know, for us to get to this many facts, this many world building, this many answers. I think that it would not be possible even if we put all of the other like series together in their respective places. If you want to consider the Scratch of Life all in a vacuum, this video would have more answer than the series alone. If you want Slice of Life in a vacuum, it would not have the many answers that we have here. But really, this is just great. I really love it. Blackimus just put so much effort. I wonder in a total like how many days that it took from start to finish to make this video. Incredible. You know, I'm very glad that finally I was in the past solely oh, what's the name of it? That I was so strongly suggested this by so many people, Arch included. He appeared here doing one of the questions, and they just kept suggesting me that this was going to be such a cool video, such a cool series. And if I remember correctly, it was on episode 3 part 1 when I joined, and so on so forward. I think I never left, you know. This is just such a cool universe to explore. Blackimus just put so much effort, so much love into this. So much of himself is into so many of the characters. And this series, even though sometimes as one of the comments said that they can be cool videos and sometimes you can even cringe at 1 or 2 things, as I do myself, it's inevitable, you know, but it just shows that the characters, they are real. The way that many characters act, most specifically, for example, Vixen with Pluto and Cinder with Smoke or Smokey. Just I can see that those behaviors are from people that I've seen in real life, and if I cringe at them at some points, honestly it just shows that they seem real to me, because they will appeal to certain people as they will just not appeal so much to other people. But still, just great characters, great development. Sometimes it's just baffling to me to think that one singular Portuguese man makes all of this, and he wants to still produce more, which is incredible. I very much just want to see where this all is going to go. I cannot wait to see Capsters. It's so sad to hear that Byte was basically scrapped, but it's how it goes. When you join YouTube, it's a random thing. You do not know how some things are gonna do. You do not know the result of things. So everything is kind of a guess. You need to try, you need to attempt to do new things, you need to try to explore new styles. And I think that this is what Blackimus did in the end, and I hope that he can continue to do so to the best of his abilities, to just show what he loves to do. Animating, creating stories, creating characters, role-playing, and becoming those characters to show us what the Scratch universe and any other universe that he can build to the fullest. This is the coolest thing. And Blackimus, if you're watching this, which most likely you are, don't beat yourself too much around the bush, okay? You are doing an incredible job. TF2 would not be the way it is today, would not have survived completely, if not by the people that do animations, that do YouTube videos. You do both. And that is such a great thing for many of us. TF2 owns a great deal of things to so many people. And I know that a lot of people would be glad to tell you that they are happy that you did what you do today. That you're doing animations, that you're doing the scratch of life, that you're doing the slice of life. Those are amazing universes. And people want to see more. So, okay, give yourself a break. I know it's important to relax, and you said yourself that you do relax. But I could see around the video that sometimes you still doubt that you're doing the best of the jobs. But believe me, we all agree that you are, okay? Ignore the bad comments, ignore the people that do stupid questions. But just think that you're doing a good job. And even if you do not do so, we're gonna be there to remind you that you're doing, you know? Incredible, just all these fan art, just so many different styles. We have SFM, we have hand-drawn art, we have different maybe situations, and just incredible, amazing.
It touches my heart when people tell me I have made so much for them. Made their lives better, gave them a reason to look forward to, and even helped them overcome dark times in their own lives. It really helps me keep going. Gives me motivation, pride, more burning passion for making this, knowing that I am helping a good amount of you. Don't worry, you've helped me too. You've helped me keep going with this channel. Because if it weren't for you, I would not be here. Blackimus would not be here. To all the fans, artists, reactors, anyone who's enjoyed what I've made, anyone who's been nothing but respectful, supportive, and understanding of me, thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. The third Q&A is now officially over. I hope you enjoyed watching this, as much as I had fun making it. I'll see you in the next Q&A. Take care.
I can't believe it's actually over. I can't believe I actually did what? Almost a complete 3-hour video on this. And now I'm gonna take my leave. I'm gonna get something to drink, turn on my AC because I've been doing this without the AC turned and I just could not bear myself to just walk 3 feet and then turn it on. Excuse myself because I just want to see everything. Guys, thanks so much for coming. Remember to give a like to the original video. It will be linked down below. I'm doing this on a stream format. I hope you don't mind, Blackimus, just to be able to save time. And thank you to everyone for coming, to saying hi on the stream. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. And I hope to see you guys next time. And Blackimus, always remember, no speaking Portuguese. Okay? Bye.